The way you said that, I felt like slow jazz music was gonna start playing and it was gonna get weird.
Slow jazz Ike.
I mean, Ike is my favorite Fire Emblem character because he's the only Fire Emblem character I've played all the way through both games. So, anyways,
About right.
you guys know how we start this. We don't talk about Fire Emblem. We talk about roll call.
Kaya.
Ryan.
Mikey.
Kyle.
And Steven! Hey, everybody. Welcome back to episode 16 of the Mole Master campaign, Elemental Evils, The Odd Jobs, Embers of Elmwood, Part 4. On our last adventure, it was basically the meme of the dog sitting in the fire saying, "This is fine," except they weren't saying this is fine. It was complete and total panic. After nearly half the party nearly burned to death, one person losing unconsciousness, the other person being slowly devoured by radiant flames, it was a mad dash to get out of Dodge of the burning Culkin Manor. As Rory was dragged out of the burning building, it fell to Jove to use Aquila to pull an unconscious Zora Culkin, who appeared to be heavily asleep, almost confused with the state of inebriation. However, thinking on it, Jove remembered that the Zora had not been served any alcohol the evening before, in fact had specifically asked against it, and it was a curious matter that an entire fight breaking out, including horses storming the front of Zora Culkin's manor, beings made out of fire, and other large explosions, did not wake the sleeping Zora. Using Aquila to drag her body out, mostly graciously, Freddy and Jove discovered that the sleeping woman, the one that they had brought over, the only surviving member from the city of Elmwood, was not to be found in the room that they had left her. Even more curiously, Dawson and the guards of Culkin Manor were also nowhere to be found. Having to break down the door to come to this realization, the dreaded sensation of "we've been duped" was not lost on the party, as Jove descended using a rope that led out of the room, and some quick feet from Freddy, the party was able to get out of the burning Culkin Manor, with Zora Culkin still very much alive. Rory stabilized after receiving some rather nasty burns with a not successful encounter with the fire snake. The party made the short trek from Zora Culkin's estate over to the Tower of Arcane Might, using Freddy's connection as a cloak to receive some spellcasting services to deal with the rather severe burning on some of the fellow party members and bringing Rory back to consciousness. A surprise visitor in the form of Senior Cloak Rastal Shan, the head cloak of the Brotherhood of the Cloaks, made an appearance, helping and casting a lesser restoration on Zora Culkin, who adamantly stood up for the party, clearing them from what could definitely have been eschewed, and pointed out that a group of adventurers in the wrong place at the wrong time with a burned down Zora building looks really bad, especially if the Zora doesn't survive. But with Zora Culkin's survival and clearing up their name, the party was introduced to said Rastal Shan. Rastal Shan so impressed with their work that Freddy received a promotion to a second rank within the Cloaks, allowing Freddy to check out spell scrolls of first level at his leisure, which I think is pretty cool. The party received some healing talks amongst themselves and settled in for a day of rest, healing and recovering from the ordeal the night before. Tasked by Rastal Shan himself in continuing their investigation from their various factions, nonetheless, Zora Culkin, the party returned back to Zora Culkin's manor, finding a familiar soldiery member at the front, where the party was allowed to investigate the kind of burned down remains, picking up the tracks of a cart haphazardly dashing away from the Colkin estate. The party made their way through the city, ending in the Zent ghetto. There, they snaked their way through the labyrinth of the Zent ghetto before coming before the what is referred to as the House of Lies, a temple to Sirik, the god of lies and murder. After a quick interaction with the Zenitrim member Ekwars, pointing the party into the chapter house itself, with Jasper ingesting a potion of fire resistance, and Rory successfully with an incredible nat 20, getting the maximum benefit of ingesting a potion of enlarge. The party made their way into the chapter house, discovering that underneath the altar in the House of Lies, a secret passageway leading down into a hidden area. There they discovered a 40 by 40 foot room with a sheet of volcanic glass acting as a doorway. After some investigation and seeing a set of currently burning braziers around, the party placed an amulet from a cult member from their early adventures to the volcanic glass. A low voice asked, "Who watches the world burn?" And after giving the answer, Imix, two of the braziers snuff out, while three others begin to roar in a large fire. A cackling, almost this crackling noise of fire, but malevolent in its nature, appears. And these small winged creatures, almost looking like little gargoyles, three of them made from the very fire itself, with two of them condensing and shifting and forming, becoming a monster made out of smoke, appears in each one of these braziers. So, to set the scene, if you look at our map of what is I'm going to refer to as the Chapter House of Eternal Flame, the center circle, the little star, each one of these five represents a brazier. The center one and the one to the left, to the top left, and to the bottom left are on fire and has a creature coming out of it made out of flame. The two braziers to the top right and the bottom right have snuffed out, and from the smoke, these creatures crawl out from within. Party, I had you guys roll initiative last session, so I already have that. I believe, Jasper, were you the one to touch the amulet to the volcanic door, sheet of glass?
I suggested it. Was I the one that actually did it?
I'm pretty sure I was the one to.
Yeah, I was about to say I think it was Jove, so
All right, Jove,
if
you're
two of us
currently...
can get it.
Yeah, I mean, it's... I knew it was one or the other. Couldn't remember if it was Jasper suggested it or did it, so... If that's what two people saying, Jove, you're amendable to it. So, Jove, you're currently right in front of the square on the right side of the room, being said volcanic sheet. The rest of you, where would you like to be stationed at?
I was probably right next to him.
Right next to Jove, got it.
I was probably leaning up against the middle one, if there's like a place to lean up to, if it's not like on the ground.
The brazier, they're not on the ground. They have kind of like a little altar built up to it. So yes,
Yeah,
a pedestal
I'll lean on
is
the
better.
altar in the middle.
Got it.
For me, I think it's just a question of where exactly do I fit, because I know I'm still large right now.
It is a 40 by 40 room, so there's quite a bit of space here. So unless you're, besides being on top of somebody or in a brazier, you're pretty free to move as you see fit. You do take up a 10 by 10.
Yeah. I guess I would be a bit towards like we'll say I guess towards the back right of
Towards
that
the back
room.
right?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. So looking at the braziers, it's like a 5 on a die. Which brazier are you
Yeah.
closest to? Just so I can have that in my mind.
I would say bottom right.
Bottom right? Perfect. I'll put you
Yeah.
closer to the entrance into here. So, with that, and fire crackling in the background, we actually begin with Jove.
Did you say that the volcanic glass stayed solid after this interaction happened? So it's still
It is
we're
beginning to crack.
beginning
So
to
you can see right where you touch the amulet that it is beginning to crack and almost spider out, but it's still solid in there.
Gotcha. Okay, I am going to use a bonus action to summon Aquila. So I'll call on her from where she resides, and that lightning will crackle around his hand, and he'll point 20 feet to what I'm just going to say is north, up towards where the top right dot is.
Gotcha.
And then, so those smoke things, are they targetable? Like at this point, they're pouring out, and I can
Yeah.
chuck something at them.
They
Okay.
are, they're right there, at most like 5 feet, suspended just because they are coming out of those braziers on the pedestal. But they are definitely targetable. They are solid and condensed creatures at this point.
Gotcha.
It almost kind of similarly look like, you know, how Aquila opens her mouth and there's kind of like the orange like goo to everything. It's almost like these have a similar mouth as like open them, like it's like the smoke hangs and pours off of it. The mouth kind of expanding and shrinking as they kind of shriek out of the smoke.
Well, as I summon Aquila, she'll kind of take that low, aggressive position with her tail kind of up in the air. I'm going to not move from being in front of the volcanic glass. Unless, like, the only reason Jove would move if he had any feeling that this is, like, heating up and going to explode. Barring that, he would just kind of stay there. And use his action to throw a javelin towards the smoke monster in the top right corner where I put Aquila.
Okie dokie, go ahead and make an attack.
That is going to most likely be a miss with an 8.
Yes, an 8, you throw the javelin and it soars across the room, and this thing just almost blows forward. It's like it keeps its condensed shape, but just moves out of the way, and you hear it stick into the wall on the opposite side with a.
Then on Aquila's turn, she's going to close the gap with her 40 feet of movement to get right up on that same one that Jove threw the javelin at, and then the only action she can take is the dodge action. So she'll be dodging for this turn, and that will be Jove's turn.
Gotcha. All right, then it is that creature's turn. So the creature's chest expands. It's almost like you've taken all the toothpaste and made it into a single point, and then the head enlarges in that same, and there's a. I need Aquila to make a dexterity saving throw.
Gotcha. So dex saving throw. That is going to be a. That's going to be a 12.
A 12. Aquila is currently blinded as cinders and smoke flood straight into her eyes, burning it for just for the moment. And you can see as she puts her claws up to start, like, almost to trying to rake the cinders out of her eyes. So she is blinded until the end of this creature's next turn.
Brutal.
Moving on down, the creature made out of flame in the center. It is its turn. It's going to look down to you, Freddy, since you are right next to it, and it brings down this claw of fire. Okay, that is a 16.
That hits.
All right, that is 2 points of slashing damage and 2 points of fire damage as it kind of rakes the top of, like, the outside of your bicep, and it's a strange sensation because you feel like you should be bleeding, but the wound immediately cauterizes over it, leading this kind of burning sensation. That's
That's
gonna.
nice.
Yeah. Then it
Ian?
is. Yes.
Real quick, the dodge action does give Aquila advantage on dex saves. Is it too late for her to make that second throw?
It is too late to make the second throw since we've moved to a second creature.
Gotcha.
So, but in the future, important to remember that because I did not remember that either. Moving on, it is actually Jasper's turn.
Okay. Jasper definitely clocked Freddy getting smacked. So I think she is gonna run over and try to get, how far away is Freddy's space from Jasper's?
From you, that's halfway through the room, so it's about 20 feet away.
Okay. Would she, once she's there, would she be able to use her remaining movement to shove him out of that space? Or would that be an action?
That would be an action to shove another
Okay.
creature. Now, Freddy could willingly be shoved, and you would need to make a roll out of it, and you would push him 5 feet.
Okay, but that would still be an action.
But that still would be an action, yes.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do it.
Okie
And then, yeah, it seemed like the creature's only reason for attacking him was because he was the closest, so we'll hope that's enough, and she'll just look at him menacingly, or it menacingly, and end her turn.
Sure thing. I have to ask, Freddy, are you willingly shoved?
Yeah.
You are shoved 5 feet out of the reach of this creature, backwards as Jasper runs across the room and just with one hand just moves you out of the way and steps into the space you were previously occupying, going eye to eye with this creature.
After she does that, she'll equip the shield and act.
Gotcha. Moving on down, then it is Rory. Rory.
Sorry, I didn't have my mic on there. I will go ahead then and draw my staff, and I believe there is a monster coming out of the brazier right by me, right? The smoke one?
Yes, there's currently a monster coming out of every single one of these braziers.
Okay, I will attack the one then, yeah, in my southeast corner.
Southeast, gotcha. So the one made out of smoke.
Yes, let's go for it.
Get it.
All right, so that's a 24 to hit.
A 24 will hit.
I'm gonna roll damage on this one first before I try the bonus attack. I just want to see. And that's gonna be for 9 blunt damage. So how does that look when I take that attack? Does it look like it's actually making contact with anything?
Your staff moves through this creature with ease, especially with how large you are right now, and it breaks its entire form straight through. You see, like, the top part of this creature and the bottom part of this creature. It doesn't feel like you hit anything, but you can see that its essence kind of goes out too far and almost has to grab part of the smoke and pull itself back together. It looks definitely more effective than when you were fighting the last creature made out of fire.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I will go ahead and take the follow-up unarmed strike then. Do a 12 hit.
A 12 actually just hits.
Wow. All right. And that is nice. That's another 4 bludgeoning.
Another 4 bludgeoning. Yeah, with two swipes, it's almost the air movement from your swipes because you are so large currently. And did you add the extra? I think you get a D4 even on your bonus since you're large.
You know, I forgot to add that. I did actually forget to add that, and I wasn't sure if that was only for weapon strikes or if the unarmed counted too. Actually.
For monks, I count it because monks are their weapon, and your fists are actually larger at this point. Yeah. So I personally count it that way for monks.
Okay. Let me add 2 D4s then real quick, if that is okay. I appreciate you.
Still your turn, yeah. That's fine.
Okay. So that is going to be another... Oh my god, I rolled max twice. That's another 8 bludgeoning on top of that.
How do you want to do this?
Oh my goodness. It's almost like the speed is there, but just with this much more force behind it. Like it's one slash again through with the staff, and like almost like a wind up motion with the staff in the leg as it just drops completely down and like even like undoes some of the floor itself just with that huge amount of weight, like literally like a ton, just like axe kick coming straight down on this thing.
Yeah, you crush the brazier underneath it during this kind of spin, and it causes all of this kind of smoke to spread out. Can I actually have you make a dexterity saving throw?
Absolutely. That's not a good roll. That is only a 10.
A 10, same as Aquila. You are currently blinded until the end of what would be this creature's next turn. So for the rest of how does this worded? When it dies behind a guard around. Okay, so for until the start of your next turn, since it's the death effect, as this creature dies and you disperse it around, the bits of smoke and cinder, almost like the last dying breath of this creature, swirls around you and strikes you in the eyes, and you can feel like it burning. Not enough to damage you, but enough to make your eyes water and almost make it hard to breathe for a second as you're trying to wipe out these cinders from your eyes.
Dang, I got pepper sprayed.
So you still have your
Wow.
movement, but you're currently blinded.
Yeah. I mean, given that I can't see and that I'm quite big, Rory might just try and like kind of stay put and just like stay attentive, like he's gonna try and just like listen and hear if anything's coming at him, but I think I'll stay put where I'm at.
Gotcha. Smart move. Smart move. All right. It is now the other two creatures. One is going to go over to you, Rory, and since you dispatched one of its kin, it's going to take a swipe at you.
Fair.
That's a natural 19.
Hit.
That do hit. So you feel the same kind of fiery claws. You're feeling it, and you don't hear the motion of something coming towards you. You feel the heat, and suddenly it becomes very hot as it rakes against like the outside of a thigh. That's going to be all right. 4 points of slashing damage, and 1 point of fire damage.
Ouchie.
And you can feel just you can't see this creature, but you can feel the immense heat coming off of it. Like its very body is radiating this intense heat. The other one is going to go across the way and strike at Aquila since she is blinded. But she did take the dog's action, so that just makes it a flat roll.
Indeed.
That is only a 7. So Aquila feels this heat, and she almost pushes her body up for just a second, and there's a low strike from this creature, and you can see the ground, Jove, underneath Aquila almost heats up red, and she's able to kind of splay herself out and avoid. You can see the very rock and tile of this room heating underneath the presence of this creature. So, we go back to the top. Oh, actually, it's Freddy now.
It's me.
It's Freddy.
I'm going to. Am I still within melee range of the one that Jasper came over to handle?
You are not within melee range. She pushed you out of range.
Okay. Well then, I'm going to take my advantage of not having opportunity attacks and GTFO. So I'm going to move over to one of the corners, whichever corner is closest that doesn't have an enemy in it currently.
Yeah, both the top left and the bottom left are currently empty of enemies. They've moved across to basically the other Brendan Brazier on the other side.
I'll go bottom left.
Bottom left, got it. You can see Rory currently getting attacked by one of these creatures made out of flame.
Mm-hmm. And then from that position, I am going to use an action to do some dissonant whispers.
Whoa.
So I strum my new harp, and some like black jagged squiggly lines come out of it and shoot at the one that, let's see, the one that Aquila is on top of, or I guess the one that just went on top of Aquila.
Gotcha. The just tequila. Okay, that's a wisdom saving throw.
It is a wisdom saving throw.
It's only a 12.
Oh, my save DC is 13. Get wrecked.
All right. These, like the scribbles from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friend, but with more lightning styles, streaks over across the room and just infects the body of this creature. I believe Dissonant Whispers take some damage from you, and then has to use whatever movement it has to get as far away from you as possible.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Does it have
it takes 12 psychic damage.
12 psychic? Yeah, you can see it's almost like the black energy is like tightening around the body of this creature, and it's almost like lobbing off chunks of it. You can see that while not a huge creature by any means, it's getting smaller and smaller as this kind of black energy cuts into it. It is gonna try to move as far away from you possible, but it can't. So it's just up against the wall, just trying to ineffectively melt through this wall. You can see the wall where it's pushing up against to is superheating, and little bits of it, I think, are starting to melt, just like small trickles of it. It's just trying to push its way away from you.
Then I'm going to say, go get him, sis, and I'm gonna give her a bardic inspiration. As I do another strum, and a Johnny runs at you.
Oh, Johnny coming at me.
What color is this Johnny? Just for flavor.
Oh, they're all replicas.
Perfect
It's
replicas,
the
got
same
it.
Johnny.
It's not the same Johnny. They're just replicas. They're clones.
For all intents and purposes, it's the same Johnny.
Intensive purposes.
Oh
For
my
all
God.
intensive purposes. Thank
Intensive purposes.
I hate this conversation.
you.
Okay, back to the top of the round with Jove.
Yes, I'm gonna use bonus action to Hunter's Mark, the smoke monster that blinded Aquila.
Ja.
And so that kind of primal energy will surge through Jove as kind of all of the hairs stand up on end as he
Like Sam Raimi's Spidey sense.
like Sam Raimi's Spidey sense, and he's going to chuck this javelin at it. There we go. That is a 23.
Oh, you a shooter? Show me how you gonna shoot. That hits.
The hits. And we're gonna roll the 2d6. Ugh. I rolled minimum for 6.
6.
6 piercing.
Yeah, just. Whew. This time, the creature doesn't move out of the way. You just move some of the quantity of smoke away from its body. It doesn't look satisfied, but there's less of the creature.
I'm gonna back 10 feet from the volcanic glass, so I'm kind of more towards the center dot. I don't want to get too close, but just in case something bursts through that, I don't want to be like right there. And then so use like 10 feet of movement to get a little bit further away. Lapse Joe's turn, and then Aquila's gonna stay put and take the dodge action again.
Got it. All right. It is the smoke creature's turn. It is going to try to take a swipe at old Aquila there. She's blinded until the end of its turn, so this is just a flat roll. Nope, that's a 7. So Aquila is able to sniff out this one and feels the smoke kind of incoming and gets low once again. That's its turn. Then it is the one next to you, Jasper. So this creature is... Can you make me... Yes. Could you make me a dexterity saving throw?
Sure can. Oh dear. Sure can't. That's an 8.
Yeah, an 8. This thing does that same, like, pulls from the fire, and you can see its sections of its body, like, swell up, like it's engorged itself. And when it gets to the head of this creature, it almost pops forward in this cone of fire. From where you're at, it only hits you, but that's going to be 2d6 of fire damage. Halved, because you have that potion of fire resistance. So that's 5.
Beautiful. I'll take that.
Yeah, 5 points of fire damage. And while it definitely stings after feeling the fire damage you had before, it clearly takes the edge off. It's like getting smacked while you're kind of hammered. It's like, fucker.
That was such a good analogy.
So that is going to be its turn. Then, speaking of Jasper, it is Jasper's turn.
Well, I feel like I gotta pay him back for that one a little bit. So she's gonna swing her battle axe at him.
Ichi.
That's a little better. That's a 17.
A 17 will indeed hit.
Okie dokie.
And since actually Aquila can see what's going on there, she's going to
Indeed, she
use her
can.
reaction to add the d6 of lightning.
Beautiful. And I roll that, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Nice. That's gonna be 13 slash. Or sorry, no, 8 or 9 slashing. And
9
then
slashing.
4 lightning.
4 lightning. Yeah, there's the thing. Gotcha. Yeah, you slice into this, and as you bring the axe down, you can feel the impact of Aquila's lightning phlegm. And you can almost hear it's like the sizzling popping, but with far more acceleration as you feel yourself pull through this. You actually nick through part of the brazier with this slice. You can see little bits of the fire beginning to kind of fall through the bottom of it. And this creature loses what looks like at least half of it, if not more, before trying to like pull more of itself out of this fire. Good
Okay.
move, good move.
Thank you. That'll be it for me.
All right, then it's that Rory filler.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I assume I'm still blind at this moment.
It's until the end of your turn.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we can't see too well, but we are gonna still try to strike that fire fella that took a swipe at me, if he dare, you know.
Indeed, you may do so. With disadvantage, though, because you're
Of
currently
course.
blind.
Of course. Let's see. Yep, that's a 10.
That's a 10. You bring forth your strike down to where you think this creature is, and you can feel that you are so painfully close. You can feel the heat of this creature, but it feels like you just strike open ground.
Okay. That is about what I expected to happen. We'll try again with the unarmed strike, see if we get anything. And we lost the crit to that. That is a 15 though.
A 15 will hit, though.
Okay. Let's see. So that is gonna be for 6 bludgeoning damage.
6 bludgeoning. Yeah, this time you strike down, and you feel it true. As it strikes down, you can feel part of the fire expand in different directions, and you're able to pull back before it starts to burn you. Learning a small lesson from your last fight with the creature made of fire.
I am somehow bigger, yet I have learned more on do not be near the fire, though. Do not stay in the fire.
Don't linger. He's a
Yes.
lingerer. Just lingers.
Exactly. No further movement from Rory, so that's all for me.
Yeah, you pull back and you wipe your eyes, and your vision comes back to you, and you can see this thing looking still mostly put together. You can see on one side there's a lessening of flames where you've struck it.
Gotcha.
Speaking of this creature, it did not like that very much. So you see that that smaller section actually get pulled into it. It's like pulls in an arm and engorges itself. Please make me a dexterity saving throw.
Let's hope this one goes better. Does not. That's an 11.
That's an 11. That is a failure. You're gonna take 2d6 of fire damage.
Oof.
All right, that's since you do not have resistance. This is 10.
Ooh, man.
As this time it wells up, and it's with being larger just means there's more surface area to you. So it's with the brazier to your back and this creature behind you. You're kind of pinned between two sources of fire, and you can feel it just wash across you, burning you as it does.
Not to be a pun, we're looking very spicy here now.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
I mean, it is a pun, but it wasn't meant to just be a pun, you know?
Then
I liked it, Ryan.
Thank you. I appreciate you, Jasper.
the one that is behind Aquila is going to make a claw attack. D10.
Disadvantage.
This time, yep, with disadvantage, and Aquila can see again, so... That's 12 and 12 with it, so that is it's 15.
15 hits.
15 does hit.
Actually, it does not hit, because I get 14 plus proficiency bonus. So, nope, it's not hit.
All right, it gets dangerously close, and you can see this thing drops a claw right behind Aquila. She's only narrowly able to pull in her tail for being able to see it, and you can see the ground heat up again where it struck. Then it is Freddy. Freddy.
Oh, beans. What I am gonna do is I'm going to give some minty greens over to my boy Rory there and cast some healing word.
Why, thank you.
How it feels to chew 5 gum.
Fuck.
Okay, that was really good.
Thank you.
What's that? You get healed for 8.
Hey, thank you.
Roy, it's this crazy sensation of being incredibly hot and feeling burning, and then immediately getting hit by cold, and so it quite literally feels and smells like your whole body has just been rubbed with spearmint. Just, ooh, it's like drinking water after having a mint. It's both hot and cold.
Dang.
Is it yes and no?
You're in, then you're out.
You're up, then you're down.
It's wrong when it's right.
It's black and it's white.
Oh, no one else is gonna hop in on this. Don't act like you don't know these lyrics.
We fight, we break up.
We kiss, we make up.
Come on. Okay.
Okay.
Honestly, too, even before that, I thought for a second, Dom, you were just gonna try and describe 5 chewing gum commercial to me on how that took effect. I really thought you were gonna try and do that. I was gonna die.
Imagine you're laying in a giant lake of just metal beads, and underneath this lake of metal beads is a giant subwoofer just playing a bass line.
That's
you heal
what it's
8
like.
HP.
Wow, that's incredible. That's the height of the campaign right there. We're done here, folks.
All right, we did it.
We won. We won
So
D&D.
then,
Yes.
with my action, I'm gonna run over to the one that's messing with my boy Rory and give it a good old stabby stab with my rapier.
All right. Let's see it.
Hiya! Jesus Christ. No, that's an 8.
Yeah, just tink, you feel
I
the
love
rapier
threes.
hit the floor next to it. It's like pull it back, and you're like, ooh. Well, it's still the right temperature. Great.
That's good. That is my turn.
All right, Jove.
Yes. I am going to throw another javelin at the same smoke person that I've been concentrating on. That is for 21.
21 will do. Can do. Can do.
That's going to be for 12 piercing.
12 piercing, yeah. This time, you feel like the javelin almost pulls away some of the density of this creature. It shrinks in a significant amount of size. For a second, it's almost like it's like a Haunter from Pokemon, only a face and hands. Before trying to once again pull more of that smoke from the brazier and reconstitute itself, but it's having a much harder time after that last one.
Then I'll go ahead and use bonus action to have Aquila make the bite action on her turn. Jove is going to stay put. He's happy where he's at, and Aquila will take a bite out of the smoke monster.
Let's see it. Get on after it now.
On after it. Let's get this rig rolling. We are looking at a 18.
And 18 will do.
And going through, do... Ooh, nice. Max damage. So that's going to be 6 piercing and 2 lightning.
Aquila opens up her jaws, and that kind of lightning phlegm almost casts out like a net, and it envelops the bits of the smoke and constricts, and she almost pulls it back like this sickening loogie, and then breathes out through her nostrils some smoke, and the creature is slain.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, that's nice, huh?
And then the other fire monster that had gotten dissonant whispered, it's still within her like range, right?
Yeah, it is right behind her. She was sandwiched between
Perfect.
these two creatures.
Gotcha. Then she'll about face and face that one and stay put, and that'll be turn.
Yes, however, can I have Aquila make me a dexterity saving throw?
Ooh, yes. Ooh, that's a 3, Captain.
As she kind of breathes out that smoke with one last crackle, like a log breaking, the smoke and cinders come back around. Like, you know, Tom when he sticks in the gun into the hole and then it comes right back around outwards and faces him, and poosh, but out of cinders and smoke. She's blinded until the end of her next turn. Beautiful. Excellent. All right, that creature's dead, so it's the one by you, Jasper. Jasper, can you make me... I believe this one is a charisma saving throw.
Oh,
that's bad.
well, that's okay. That's actually one of her good stats.
Hold on. Is it?
Also, don't forget, Jasper, you have a bardic pistol.
Thank you for reminding me.
Wait.
Oh, I'm holding. I'm not rolling this die till I know what the purpose is.
Oh. Okay, so it's heat metal.
Oh.
Yes. So there's not a saving throw for the activation of it.
Right.
You feel your armor starting to heat up. So you take 2d8 of fire damage halved when the spell is cast.
Yep.
So that is... That's a 1. That's a 7. So halved is 4. Take 4 points of fire damage as you feel your armor heating up.
Okay.
That is going to be its turn. Then it's you, Jasper.
Okay. And since I'm wearing it, there's no like save, right? I can either choose to take the damage or take
Yes,
it off.
it's so the creature on its turn may use a bonus action to cause that damage to heat up again. You feel like your armor flare up in heat, and you can feel it burning on the outside. Like feeling the full potency of this fire-resistant staving against it, and then it starts to the intensity of the heat dissipates, but you can still feel your armor is unnaturally hot.
Okay.
It almost looks like you can see on your armor, it's like little fingers all the way through. Think almost like Robin from One Piece, causing like little fingers of this creature to appear and grasp parts of your armor.
Okay.
Oh.
Word.
Got one of them good word pictures.
Yeah, well done.
Yes, so that's its turn. It is your turn.
Yes. Well, she's hoping just a really good smack will change things. So we're gonna just roll another attack. Oh, that's not what we like. That's only a 10.
Yeah, a 10. This time you slash through and you break off a good chunk of the brazier, and you can see bits of burning fire, almost this kind of charcoal, begin falling out the side of it. But the creature almost just kind of shifts to the other side of the brazier, looking at you at eye level at this point. It's doesn't speak words. It just sounds like a small roaring fire in this awful kind of not quite complete or fully formed smile as it just kind of like cackles, and you see fingers on fingers on fingers unfurl from it. And then they like a fire burning.
Oof. Yeah, her courage is flagging just a little bit, but she's gonna be patient for now. I'm just gonna end my turn there.
Gotcha. Then it is Ruri.
You alrighty. Was the boy that me and Freddy were going after still up? Or
He is
he
indeed
down?
still up.
Well then, now I can see you this time, Mr. Fireboy. Let's go for it. That is another 12.
12, that'll do.
You alright? And then I'll go ahead and roll the bonus attack too. And that one's for an 18.
Both will
Let's
hit.
do that all together now. Okay. So that's going to be altogether 15 bludgeoning damage.
15 pleasure. How do you want to do this?
Oh my goodness. Man, it's like now that he can see it, like he almost like holds the pole above his head, like completely horizontally, and it's just like another strike down, and he does his pole vault movement to kind of like get him into the air, and just kind of comes down clean with another good fist strike down on it. But it's just like it's trying to give himself as much force and weight as he can, and then just using that big body just to bring it all down in one strike, basically.
You go for, you're using it like this pile driver motion, but because of your extra size, when you jump up, you can feel your feet touch the ceiling, and you actually push off of that and drive the staff down, and just with its extra large size and your whole body weight and the extra force from bouncing off the ceiling, literally, you drive down and just boom, like a big snuff, and then there is a as a fire leaps up around the sides of your staff going towards your hands. Can you make me a dexterity saving throw?
Absolutely. That's a 17.
A 17 will pass. So
All right.
that's half damage. So that is, since I'm the DM, we round up. That's 3 points of fire damage as you're able to pull back and you just feel the fire go across your knuckles. It burns and it stings, but you're able to avoid the brunt of it. As you see, it almost shoots all the way up to the ceiling. You can see a little bit of red of the heated ceiling where your feet were just at.
Dang.
But the creature
Good
is
stuff.
slain.
Cool. I guess I will use my movement. There's still one more up right now, isn't there?
There's two. There's one from where you're at, and this isn't a huge room, so it's easy enough to see with your passive.
Yeah.
There's one in the center breezer, the center Brennan. I'm just gonna call him Brennan's now. The center Brennan has one that Jasper's currently fight. It almost looks kind of like a lion's mane made out of like small fiery fingers or like unfurling, almost even closer to flower like at this point. And then there's one behind Aquila. That is they're both smaller creatures, so they're like at eye level. As this thing goes down almost into like a quadrupedal stance against her.
And you said it's behind
Yes.
Aquila too.
Yeah.
Okay. I will head over then and try to position myself near the one at Aquila and try to block it off from like kind of trying to flank her.
Yeah. Definitely. You go to the side of it, and since the room's 40 by 40, and I know you've got 40 feet as a monk, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, you...
It's just if I can fit by everybody more than anything.
Ooh, yeah.
Actually, sorry to interrupt. Is he within Jasper's line of sight?
Rory?
Yes.
With how large Rory is, yes. At this current moment, it's impossible to miss him.
She's gonna use a reaction to ask for help.
With that, then Rory will redirect himself.
Yeah, you go to the... You
Well,
go around and...
Yeah, if I can, we'll even try to get behind and kind of pincer the one that's on Jasper if I can fit myself there.
Yeah, it puts you in a predicament though, because you can flank it. Jasper's kind of on the south parts of it since she shoved Freddy out of the way. So you can go to the north side, but that gives the one that's fighting Aquila flanking on you since you're 10 feet large. Kind of makes like a Jasper, Brennan with the monster on it, Rory, and then the other fire monster. But you can put yourself there. So, I mean, you can strike both of them, but also be in the attack range of both of them. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Yeah, I gotcha. I guess we'll kind of put myself then. So that one that's on Aquila, is that like in that top left or right?
Closer to the top right.
Okay. I guess we'll put me then kind of like on the left side of where...
Of the center, Brennan?
Of the center one, yeah.
Yeah, totally.
On the one that Jasper's fighting.
Gotcha. Yep, so
Coolio.
you've got this thing 2-on-1 now.
Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. Speaking of the one that's on Aquila... Yeah, it's going... How far away are you, Jove? If you move 5 that way... Not close enough. All right. It's going to make an attack against Aquila. This time just straight roll.
She's blind, so you actually have advantage.
Oh. You're correct. Thanks, advantage. That's crit. So that is going...
Oof.
That is... All right.
Sorry, Aquila.
8 points of slashing damage and 7 points of fire damage for 15 altogether. As this time, its almost whole body turns into a singular large claw, and Aquila, the heat goes outwards all from the top, and she's got nowhere to go since she can't see. She's trying to get the cinders out of her eyes, and you just see it slash into her, and then immediately cauterize all the wounds on her. It looks like a devastating blow. And you can all hear the sound of Aquila kind of cry out during this, as now she's burned, slashed, and blinded, all in this singular moment.
Luckily, she is still on all fours, so she's still with us.
Gotcha. So back to the top. Or actually, it's Freddy's turn. My bad. I always keep wanting to go back there. Freddy.
Yeah. So, that changes things, doesn't it? I think I'm gonna do basically what I was gonna do anyways. I'm just gonna make some distance between myself and the two remaining enemies and just do a vicious mockery on we'll say the one on Aquila.
The one on Aquila. All right. That's
Yeah.
wisdom, correct?
Yes.
That's a 9.
Yeah, wisdom. 9. Takes 3 psychic and has disadvantage on its next attack.
There we go. Yeah, as it's trying to form back into its more bipedal, quadrupedal, just less of this singular appendage form. Your magic goes out, and you can feel, you can not just feel, but see it flicker as parts of its like flames almost burn off, almost in like a bubble-like fashion out to the side, and can't quite pull it in as some of it, and it gets smaller. Nice move. Nice move. Now, it's Jove.
Jove is going to use his bonus action to move Hunter's Mark to the one that's fighting Aquila. We'll go ahead and action to throw a javelin. That's going to be a crit fail, but luckily, I'm a halfling.
Oh,
But
I've heard that
he
somewhere
rolled a
before.
3. God damn it.
dang. The almost halfling crit fail.
So
Yeah, as you
I miss.
drive a third javelin straight into the wall. You can watch Joe's accuracy just like ping, 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 ping. It's almost like in a line curving downwards away from the Brennan.
But since so that Jove will stay where he's at, and then on Aquila's turn, she has to take the dodge action, so she will do that.
Yes, and
keep
at the
a defensive posture.
at the end of her turn, Akila's able to get the cinders out of her eyes, and she's no longer blinded.
Excellent.
And she faces her her attacker. Okie dokie. Then it's the one by you, Jasper. It's going to use its bonus action, do 2d8 of fire towards you, and then it's going to strike out against a new challenger. Actually, hold on. Roll for reach. Nope. Not today. That's another one. That's an 8, but that's halved. So 5.
Another. Okay.
5 points of fire as you feel the fingers rapidly, like almost exponentially multiply and grip, and you feel that another surge of heat as it turns, and it's going to make a slash up against to you, Rory. That's a 7.
Does not hit.
It has advantage from flanking.
Oh.
Not this guy, because he went to the side instead of going all
Okay.
the way back around.
Oh, this is the new guy. Okay.
Yeah, this guy in the center, Brennan. So that's going to be its turn. Now it's Jasper's turn.
We still have bardic inspiration.
Thank you so much. So first thing we're gonna do is second wind. So we're gonna see what we get with that. We'll take that. It's gonna be 7.
Okay,
Alright.
okay.
Yeah. And then she's gonna strafe to the right a bit so she gets flanking.
Yep, indeed.
Beautiful. Yeah, we're just gonna give this a shot. Oh, that's already a hit for sure. Yeah, that's gonna be a 24 to hit.
That's a 24, and you have sneak attack on this one.
Beautiful.
Go ahead and add that D6 for
Oh,
Aquila.
we love that.
Yes.
Okay.
Just blow them up.
The chonky
Okay,
sound of lots of
so-
dice being rolled.
yeah. So that's gonna be 10 slashing and then another 6 lightning.
How do you want to do
Nice.
this?
Yes.
Woo! Yeah, so yeah, she got another blast of fire and is about to wane, but she kind of gives herself kind of that extra stamina that she seems to just inherently have and surges forward, and when it turns to attack Rory, she like jukes slightly to the right to get this perfect kind of center of the back of the head kind of blow.
It meets Akila's electrical phlegm, and you feel that acceleration through your whole body, just way faster. It's like a perfect shot met with unbelievable speed, and you find that your axe is now at your side faster than you would have thought possible. And you see you slash right through this creature, right through the Brendan, creating almost like only a singular like diagonal sliver left with like 2 broken sides. It's like you perfectly cut it in 3 areas.
Beautiful.
However, can I have Rory and Jasper make me a dexterity saving throw?
There it is. Okay.
Man, that's a 12. Rolling bad on the deck saves.
Oh, unfortunately, same. It's only an 8.
All right. Rory, you take 8. Jasper, you take 4.
Oof.
Jasper, you do
As
still have Bardic Inspiration. I know that was still low. I just wanted to
Oh,
remind you
yeah.
again.
We'll save it just in case.
as you cut it perfectly, like in that half, and one part falls forward, and the other part falls backwards, and like one last, like a tide of flame made out of these small fingers, just brushes across both of you, and you get a full kind of face full of it. But the creature is slain. All right. Then it's Rory.
Alrighty. Real quick, Kaya, how's Jasper looking right now after that one?
Definitely a noticeable amount of fire damage to her clothes, and she's breathing very heavily, but she doesn't seem to be like limping or anything.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay. If I attack this next one or the last one that's standing, am I within? Would I be able to be within 5 feet of Kaya still, with where I'm at right now?
Within 5 feet of Kaya?
Or Jasper?
Oh,
Yeah, I know. No, 5. I can't be within 5 feet. That's literally the number. I'm sorry.
You could move in like a clockwise motion and head towards midnight where this thing is. However, you wouldn't be 5 feet within Jasper because she's on the other side.
Yeah.
You could definitely get to Jasper, go the other way around and stop by there, but you couldn't be close. Well, you're 10 by 10. How far is this?
Yeah.
5. I don't know, but that's 20 from there. Yeah, there's that 5 feet of wiggle room in either direction. So you could be by Jasper or you could be by the creature.
Yeah, just can't do both at the same time here.
Unfortunately, I can't stand still and be within 5 feet of each of them.
That's fair. That's okay. Well, I could still use some healing too, though, because I'm now really bad. So, we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and put myself at the monster, and I'll go ahead and attack.
All right, you got it. Go ahead and attack with advantage.
Alrighty. That's a nat 20 first roll there.
All right, go ahead and roll that out.
Great. That's gonna be 23 blunt damage altogether.
23. How do you want to finish this up?
Oh goodness. Oh my goodness. How do I even want to do it with this one? I mean, it's kind of like it's a running motion basically, and like it's it's like a full jump and flip as like a stomp on top of just slamming the staff down on this thing, like straight down on it. Just kind of going almost off of before, basically, but just like kind of building up the speed with it, and then again just letting gravity do the rest.
And as you bring down the staff, and this thing just there's not even a time for it to react, as its flames just spread out in all directions. You can see the smoke that had gathered from kind of the snuffed brazier to the side, and the death of that last creature all get pushed to the sides from the force of this blow. Can I have Rory and Aquila make me dexterity saving throws?
That one's at 21.
That'll succeed.
Keela got a 16.
Those will both succeed. You both take 3. 3 points of fire damage.
Woo!
She's
Looking-
still barely on her feet.
I am looking quite spicy. And in fact, I will probably actually use my bonus action to use Hand of Healing on myself real quick.
Go for it. Go ahead and roll that out real quick.
The low as possible. That's 3 health, so I get that health that I just lost back.
Yeah, you almost like Iroh. The flames come in, and then you like follow it as it burns you, and then move it to the other side and pull it off of you to stem from the damage. As the final creature, explodes in its small fiery death, the rest of the Brennans all stop burning. There's a large cracking noise and the sound of like hundreds and hundreds of small volcanic bits of glass ting 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 as the sheet breaks, and the pathway forward is open to you all now. We are out of initiative.
I think Jasper is quite clearly hyperventilating to anyone who even looks at her, so she's gonna just step away for a second and collect herself.
As these bits of volcanic sheet glass fall and break, and like when you remove like a car's window, and it's got that kind of spider, just it almost sticks together and falls in like a bigger sheet, and then breaks out larger. It's you feel this huge wave of heat, like you've just opened up the oven. There's absolutely no liquids to it. Any sweat that you have is immediately whipped from your body. You feel dry. Those of you with exposed bits of flesh, especially towards like your lips and your eyes, immediately get dry, and you have to kind of blink and get your lips there as it just rips the moisture away from you.
Jove is going to call Aquila to himself, and he's going to kind of position himself right at, if I can, at kind of the corner of the new doorway that was opened, and try and get my eyes down the hallway to see if I can see anything.
Go ahead and roll that perception check. And you hear Aquila, she's still kind of almost sneezing out bits of cinder, say, Batabut Jachus Impleza, which is, that wasn't pleasant.
Jove kind of...
Like a cat having a sneezing fit. Like, psh, 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 psh. And you see bits of her kind of electrical, orange phlegm hit there with big gray bits of ash and, bits of smoke still coming out. Like someone taking a really bad hit and then just breathing out. And they're just like, ooh, there's Scooby snacks and all sorts of stuff in there.
He's gonna offer his cloak to kind of to rustle off her nose real quick. But the nice thing with that Sentinel shield is with that advantage, he got a 21 for perception.
With the 21, you look down and it's a elongated hallway going for at least, what you assume is about 100 feet. You can see that there are 6 kind of entryways, three on each side, and at the very end you see a large, dark, almost like like someone had burned a tree and made a door out of it. This kind of burned with these large same symbol of the cult blazoned on top of it. It almost kind of pulses, and with every pulse you can hear ever so faintly chanting from the other side. It almost echoes through. It's too far away to hear what exactly is being said, but you definitely know where it's something behind that door. Looking to the sides, though, you don't see anyone appearing to be lurking. And once again, the heat is painful. It's so hot you can't even sweat through it.
Ugh, gross. Hate that. So it's just like Arizona in the middle of the summer.
Yeah, except like when it's nighttime and it's like kind of dark in here, and you're hoping that like being underground in like a not exposed area would make it better, but it just holds on to it. Just the walls and the roof and the floor, everything just radiates heat, and it's just so still too. It's not even like a hair dryer. It doesn't even whip it away. It's just now it's there, and it's just invaded this area of the room now. There's this awful smell of thick, almost fattiness burning and burnt hair. It like sticks. It's this awful sensation of being incredibly dry and heat, but also this sticky, pungent aroma that just like sticks to your insides, so that when you swallow, even your spit tastes like it.
Folks, it looks like the coast is clear down this hall, but I'm hearing some chanting, and I think they're our target's there at the end of whatever that door has to offer us.
Jasper takes a deep breath and strides on over to the doorway and looks to Rory and Freddie and see if they're ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Rory's looking a little rough, but he gives you a nod.
She
Wait, like how rough? Like, would you ask me for more minty greens, or are you gonna hold
Minty
them out?
green. I will tell you. It would be nice to experience 5 gum again. Where I'm at.
Okay.
Sorry
I
to
can give you
use
some more
all your
5 gum.
spells. I've just been getting hit. Yeah.
No, you're fine. That's why I've been kind of not using too many of them. So that is. Ooh. 11.
Oh my! I love you.
Oh wait, I can't do that.
Oh.
For some reason, I read 3d4 plus 3. Okay, that's just 5.
Well, I still love you. I'm better than Element.
I love you.
I love it when you
Before
call me
we-
Senorita.
I love it when you call me Senorita. A fitting title, don't you think?
Before we move down the hall, Jove is going to ask Aquila. He's going to ask her, Aquila, do you mind doing a little bit of reconnaissance for us and going down the hall first? I know you've been burnt up pretty bad, but I mean you're the most suited for this type of thing.
She looks to you and responds. If it would give me the response for it. The rough. It's si ligrati. I fear not. And she will head down forward.
Aquila, before you go, I'm also thinking that, like, no offense, but I feel Johnny might be a little more stealthy. If there's chanting down there, I feel like he's gonna get noticed a little less, and I can directly see through him. So it's up to you. I mean, I don't want to take away your bravery or anything, but just for conspicuousness.
Aquila looks confused and looks to you, Jove.
And Jove is going to kind of rustle through his pack, and he's going to bring out a little bit of jerky and kind of wave her over here and be like, Aquila, maybe we'll take a break real quick. Let somebody else help us out here, and offer her the jerky.
Majak, she says as she grabs it, which means give. She takes it and
All right, so I'm gonna pop a Johnny into existence, just kind of like in the hallway.
Johnny
He's
pops there and looks up to you, slicks back the hair, raises the head, and waits for direction.
Go that way, and I'll see what you see, I guess. I haven't really done this yet, but I've heard that it works, so we're gonna do it.
All right, Johnny begins to head in. Go ahead and roll me a perception check for John Bon.
Whose stats am I using?
I think since it's Johnny, I think it's Johnny's stats, and then you just receive a direct feed.
Okay. I do not have access to a mouse stat block.
I will look for you.
I mean, I can probably look one up.
Yes, excellent. For Wiz, has
Actually,
a
it was rat specifically.
rat specifically. I've got it right here. Got a 10 in wisdom, passive perception of 10, but has advantage on perception checks that rely on smell.
Sweet. There it is. Okay, I'm also looking at it now.
Yeah, we haven't needed to pull up John Bond's stats in all this time.
Yep.
Doesn't need no
Okay.
stats.
So, do you want me to make just like a flat roll for the perception that's not smell, and then a second one that gives me smell specific instructions?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's the best way to do that. Well, his passive's 10, and he smells with a 10 as well. That was a 3 and a 2.
Yeah, Johnny goes down and he looks at each one of these rooms on the side, and the doors are currently open, and just kind of peering in, can see that they appear to just be some basic looking quarters. Looks like they may have been cells at one point, but now there's crude bunks with wooden hay in them. Some of them have a weapon rack and armor stand. Each one does seem to have a closed metal chest. Goes all the way to the very end, and Johnny can now hear the chanting rather well, and sniffing up through by the door, it gets hit with a huge wave of what smells like the beginning of burned flesh and hair, and there's the beginning of kind of there's a yelp and then another yelp, and it sounds like movement on the other side.
Okay, just from that, I'm just immediately gonna pop him out of existence, and just be like, I think people are being burned. I think we need to go, like, now.
Yeah, Jasper surges forward, and she looks to Jasper, or looks to Freddy to point out where she's going.
It's pretty much just straight ahead, right?
Is it straight
Yeah.
ahead? Okay. Yeah, that one then.
All right, as you guys move past, even just casually looking, you see the same kind of scenes of these retrofitted cells that seem to house a number of people in them, each one containing a chest. And as you get to the door, the chanting is getting louder and louder. As you guys are approaching the door, what's your marching order?
Jasper up front.
Jasper up front.
Pretty last.
Yeah, the hallway is, I think, is 15 across. It's a rather wide hallway,
okay.
so you can be, you could stand three abreast, minus Rory,
Actually,
of course.
Yeah, because Rory's so large. So do we want to be... Actually, I think 2 people up front, and then me and Rory in the back is probably going to be a good way to go. Or Rory up front, and me and one of the smaller folk in the back.
Yeah, probably Rory up front.
Rory up front with you, and then me and Jove in the back.
So me and Jasper up front is what you're thinking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rory,
Okay.
Jove, and Freddy, Jove, and Aquila in the back.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Gotcha. Yeah, you get to the front of this door. Now you can feel even the door is just one big. It is very much a door, but it's so charred and blackened from it, and you can see that the symbol itself almost looks like it's still kind of burning right in the center of it. You go up and put hands on it, and it's a rather heavy door, not locked, just heavy. And the chanting is getting louder and louder. And then you hear an incredibly loud, nasally scream.
Yeah, with that, Jasper looks at Rornak and kind of nods towards the door, like, could you get that for me?
Sounds good. And I'm gonna imagine with me being big, we're going the aggressive way.
Yeah, make me an athletics with advantage.
Can do. That's a 21.
Yeah, a 21. You just raise up one leg, Karate Kid style, turn to the side, and with like a piston shooting forward, and you can hear the charred wood of this just snap into almost 4 pieces, and it breaks open, and you see it's an immense chamber in this. It's oddly shaped, kind of almost like a flame. And at the far end, there is an enormous 10-foot wide Brennan burning fiercely. You can see surrounding the Brennan, there's a group of people, the source of this chanting, wearing nothing but heavy leather breeches and what looks like almost like blacksmith aprons, sporting like these thick, opaque goggles. They don't even sweat at this point because the heat in here is immense. It almost burns the throat just breathing in. And you can see standing on a raised platform on the far side of this Brennan is a familiar looking woman with deep burns on one side as she is apparently leading these individuals. However, what draws your attention the most is this unusually large bronze armor. It looks like just someone has taken flames and turned them into brass and clipped them together, just far larger than any humanoid would ever need, at least a typical humanoid. They still glow bright red from the heat. It's almost like a forge in the center of here. And you can see that 2 of these individuals are pushing someone in these clothings, and you're just barely able to see the confused and pained face of Dawson, wearing the same clothing, is being pushed into it, and he's trying to recoil from the heat, but they anticipate this movement and shove his body all the way into the suit. There's this gut-wrenching sound, the smell of burning flesh and hair. It coats your entire essence. It's almost like it shoots out in all directions, like high-powered steam. Smoke roils and curls from the gaps in the armor as these tendrils of flames begin to rise from the neck, and within moments, the Dawson's entire head is wreathed in flame to where his features are almost burned away. And after less than a half dozen heartbeats, the last of his screams fade away. And this creature, this armor, suddenly part burned flesh, part inorganic brass, animates and stands to its full height in the Brennan, holding a huge red-hot warhammer. As it hits the ground to the side, you can see it begin to easily melt into the floor as the woman begins to praise it, and it's almost like she's pulling more flames into it. You can see that she stands fully attentive now. Half of her body completely burned, an eye completely missing, but around her neck, the clear amulets of the Cult of Eternal Flame. And in this broken, raspy, cracked voice, she cries out, "Rise, servant of Imix," as it kneels to her presence. And suddenly all eyes begin to turn to you as the rest of the door cracks and burns and almost begins to float away like bits of ash. And suddenly, the remaining 4 cultists led by the woman, the very one that you saved or absconded with from the House of Suffering, all turn and lock eyes on you. "The adventurers, you've survived. Delightful." There's some moments of silence as the heat begins to increase. And this large abomination of flesh and armor rises from a kneeling position and turns. And you can see the last remnants of Dawson's flesh burn back until now only blackened flesh and fire remains. Let's roll for initiative, guys.
Here we go.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, we can take a bio break real quick. Get those rolls out, throw them up there. We will take a slight break. I'll put us on the be right back. So, chat, thank you for watching. We'll be back in,
Ooh,
let's say, 7:15. We'll take an 8-minute break. Ah.
Nice. Also, that first roll call, it was so hard for me not to call myself Ike. I had to like think to myself, say Ryan.
Say Ryan. Say Ryan. Say my name.
I was like, literally, don't say Ike. Don't say Ike. Don't say Ike.
Call me by your name. I do not care if you're lying. All right. So, we're ins-its to wins-its. So from this room is from the door all the way to the tippy tip. That center tippy tip is 80 feet. So get to the big Brennan in the center is 40 feet. The at the top of the road is actually the elemental abomination. As it steps down from this large Brennan, you can see that it slightly sinks as its very feet touching the ground begin to melt it. The heat is undescribable. The only person that is not just actively wishing for water or rain or literally any liquid to catch the heat of this is you, Jasper. And even then, it's a miserable experience as it's going to move. It's 30 feet, so it's 10 feet from you, and it grips this large warhammer with both hands, puts it back almost like a batter waiting to swing, and holds right there in the center of the room. And the light from this is almost blinding. Those of you at the front, which would be Jasper and Rory, it's almost hard to look at this thing from how much heat and light is just coming off of it. It's awful. It's almost radiant, but in this awful blackened flesh kind of way. So it's going to move and hold its action right there. Then the burnt woman that you all previously rescued sticks her hands into the Brennan, and you see her forearms light in this awful, almost blood-colored red flame. The amulet around her neck with that same symbol, the same kind of bloody red flame color, as she molds the fire in her hands to like a small miniature version of this abomination and sends it forward, and it grows and it pulls a ton of the flame and the heat from this Brennan all the way over to this abomination, and it gets brighter and hotter, and more fire takes over, almost where you can't see the metal armor, just blackened flesh and blood red flames as it stands before you. Then she's going to pull out what appears to be this almost this flame-shaped dagger into one hand, and directs the rest of the cultists to move forward in this large, raspy, booming voice. It fills the entirety of this chamber. It sounds like she's both shouting next to you and speaking right into your ear of, "Feed them to the flames." It's almost maddening in how both close and far away it sounds. Then, question. Both, I believe I had two 20s here. Freddie and Jove. Which one of you would like to go first?
I think I would, just because of what I want to do on my first move.
Is that amicable, Jove?
Sounds fair enough.
Okay. Let me just rewrite the initiative order. I should have asked first. Yeah. Freddie, then Jove. All right, Freddie, it's your move.
Okay. I'm going to look at the big suit of armor guy.
Yes.
He's starting to advance towards us, yeah?
Yes, he is 10 feet away from Jasper and Rory.
I'm going to strum my harp, and some golden thorn cords are gonna start rippling out of it towards the armor boy as I cast Crown of Madness.
All right, that's a wisdom save.
Mm-hmm.
That is an 8.
Yeah, it fails.
All right. Would you
While the
read
target
Crown
is
of Magic
charmed,
out? Thank you.
yeah. While this target is charmed in this way, a twisted crown of jagged iron appears on its head, and a madness glows in its eyes. A charmed target must use its action before moving on each of its turns to make a melee attack against a creature other than itself that you mentally choose. The target can act normally on its own turn if you choose no creature or if none are within its reach. On your subsequent turns, you must use your action to maintain control over the target, or the spell ends. Also, the target can make wisdom saving throughout the end of each of its turns. On a success, the spell ends.
Gotcha. Yeah, this golden thorns wrap its way through its body, going in and out of the armor and the flames, and hold on to it. And the flames are almost constrained into it. And it's this beautifully macabre gold thorns shining, creating this crown, and then it snakes through the armor and the flesh that still is blackened in there. And so it's this blackened flesh with tons of golden thorn like vines and energy holding onto it in this wreathed brass armor of flames with the blood red of it shining out. If it wasn't just so absolutely macabre, it would be terrifyingly beautiful.
And then I'm gonna roll a performance and be like, it didn't work. It didn't work. You guys have to do something while I figure something else out. Just trying to, or I guess that would be
That'd be a deception.
deception. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll a deception.
14.
14. Yeah, it sounds
feel
real
deceptive.
good. Yeah, you feel very deceptive. It's like, oh wow, guys,
No.
my magic, no.
And then I'm gonna pat Rory on the giant back and be like, "Go get him, Bucko." And you have a Johnny climb up your back and is perched on your shoulder, as you have a bardic inspiration.
Nice.
That's my turn.
I believe that makes it me.
I believe. Tom, if you're speaking, we cannot hear you.
Yeah. Oh, now we can.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Dom, I see that there's like these little circles. Those are pillars, right? The little circles that are. And is the second like created creature just like going straight down the middle? Is it arcing? I missed the last bit of that. If there was.
Yeah. You cut out.
He came 30 feet from the brazier or the Brennan. The brassiere. I'm seeing green ring, but I'm not hearing you. Oh no.
You broke your mic.
Not like this.
Someone's stolen our DM's voice. The sea
Ah.
witch. There it is.
Ursula.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you now. That might do it.
Don't do that.
Tool tips.
Well then, DM, I think what Jove is going to do is going to go through the use his tiny abilities
and he is going to pass through the door and go directly south, kind of hugging the wall. I'm a little dicey on what the movement is, but his goal is he's trying to get behind that pillar. So he's got 25 feet of movement, so that's kind of where he's going. If he can't make it directly to the pillar, which I don't think he will, he's going to focus on having his back to the wall more than anything.
Yeah, with only 25 feet of movement, you could get into the room, and then you could get to like the top of that pillar and have your back up against it, but you couldn't get around it without dashing. So you could have your
Perfect. Yeah,
back
so
to the pillar, and so you'd be on like the north side of it. So could have your back to that and still see this abomination and the remaining cultists over by the Brennan.
Is the main cultist still like on a pedestal type deal?
Yeah, on the platform behind.
So, and that is that like middle prong, right? So that's pretty far away.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, she's like right behind it. And then you can see to her sides, there's two more cultists there, and then towards the front on each side are two more cultists for a grand total of 5.
Gotcha. So I'm guessing that with a 30 feet of distance for javelin, that I'm probably not able to hit any of the cultists at this point, right?
From there, 'cause you moved, you gotta move at least 10 in for 20 from there. You'd be able to get the one on the bottom in front of the Brennan, just barely.
Okay, I'll go.
However,
for,
all of them would be within disadvantage range.
Gotcha. Okay, well, would I be able to hit the not Crown of Thorn or Crown of Madness entity?
Well, there is that one. The rest of them are all cultists. They appear to be humanoid. So there's
Oh, okay. So there's only one big brass thing. So there's
Yeah.
not two summon things.
no.
Okay. That makes me feel better.
Yeah, they
You know what?
shoved
He'll
one of
actually-
these cultists that appeared to be Dawson into this thing. Is some sort of part of this ritual to create this monstrosity.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate the clarification.
No
Okay,
problem.
then I will hold my action. If if the big monstrosity comes within 15 feet of me, can I have that be the trigger for throwing a javelin?
Yeah, sure, totally.
Thanks. And then I will go ahead and I'm gonna use my bonus action to have Aquila dash. So then on her turn, I would like her to use her full 80, so she can definitely get to me. And I'm thinking that she's gonna be like, if this room is like a clock, like trying to get to like as close to that like 6 o'clock position as possible. So she's really trying to swing around the side to get a good angle on everybody.
Yeah, with 80 feet of movement, she could pull that off.
Dope. So yeah, with the held action, Aquila dashing, that will be Jove's turn.
Okie dokie. Then it is Rory.
Alrighty. Those cultists, are they right by the big abomination fellow or no?
No,
Like,
they
how far
they
out
have
are they?
yet to move from the Brennan. There is two. If looking at the map, there are two on the west side, one to the northwest and one to the southwest, that are in front of it, that the abomination walked past. And then on the platform, there is the main woman who appears to be leading them, and then a cultist at each one of her sides.
And just as a clarification, when the big armor guy takes damage, he does not make a save. It's only at the end of each of his turns.
Yeah, that's what I was curious about.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can attack him as much as you want to. He only gets to save on his turn.
Okay. Alrighty then. Well, with that said, and with those words of encouragement, I think I'll take the 40 feet to go up to the big guy here.
Yeah,
Take
you only
a
have to
strike.
move 10 feet forward.
Nice. Let's go for it then.
Yeah, and you get up to this in your enlarged form, you stand eye to eye with this creature, and well, eye is the wrong word to use. The pits of flame, a blood red flame that's peer back at you, don't even flicker. They just blaze forward as you lock eyes with this creature.
All right. With the bardic inspo, that's a 17 to hit.
A 17 does not hit.
Dang.
It does have to make a Constitution save.
Constitution save. You got it. That is a 14.
That saves.
Got it.
Darn. Well, alrighty then.
Yeah, you strike with the staff, and it indeed hits, but it's like you feel it hit the armor, and it rings from the sensation, but not like a hollow bell, like just like almost more of a dull thunk. Like the inside is hard cauterized stone.
That sounds like a problem. We will go ahead. I'll go ahead and try one more attack. With the unarmed strike here. That's not gonna hit. That's a 15.
15. Yeah, this time you go for one of the places like you try to go for like a neck shot, and it leans back just enough to where you just move the flames to the side.
Dang. Well, that's all for Rory. I'll stand pat in front of him.
Gotcha. Move down. It is one of the cultists, the one that is on the going to move clockwise, the northwest, makes its way. Its full 30 feet and stands next to this abomination and readies itself for the fight to come.
Idiot. He fell for my trap card.
I activate my trap, Crown of Madness. That actually sounds like very much like a real Yu-Gi-Oh card.
It did do the work thing.
So Jasper, it's you.
Jasper is going to run into the room and skirt around the big armor boy around the side that doesn't have cultist on it.
Okay, going through the south side.
Yeah, she's gonna try and
sweet.
get flanking on it. If
So
she may.
side. On the big creature.
Yeah.
You've got 40 feet of movement, correct?
I sure do.
Yep, you sure can do that.
Beautiful. So we're gonna go ahead and make a battle axe attack with advantage.
Jasper, you still have Bardic Inspo too, just a reminder.
Thank you so much. She won't need it. It's a 25 to hit.
25 will indeed hit.
That D6 lightning.
Take 4 points of fire damage as you make contact with its body.
I'll take. Is that reduced?
To 2.
Okay.
Yeah, as you make contact with this, immediately the heat transfers from its body down your weapon into your hands, and you are very thankful for this potion of fire resistance as the fire burns into your palm. You can feel the exact place where you hold your weapon heat and burn you.
Beautiful. Do I have to call sneak attack before or after the attack?
You meet the requirements of sneak attack.
So it just goes.
Yeah, so it just goes. It becomes
It's
more of an
basically-
issue when you have multiple attacks because you can only do it once per turn. But if
Right.
this
And
is
it's just the first. It's just the first attack that hits that meets the conditions. Like it always just procs the first time it can.
Oh, it does. Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I don't think that there's anything in the.
no,
in
there's
the
no
rule
like
description that
I call
says-
sneak attack. It's you either got
Right.
sneak attack or you don't got sneak attack.
The
If
idea
now-
is that you're always
Sneaky.
doing sneak attack every turn
I see.
because it's free.
Okay. I'm gonna roll it then.
yeah, it's just if you have 2 attacks and you hit the first, if you hit both, only one of them gets the sneak attack bonus.
Right. Not
Learned that from
really.
Zanza.
So it's only gonna be 9 slashing and then 3 lightning. But we're gonna go ahead and use an action surge. And do another attack with advantage. It's a 19 to hit.
A 19 just hits.
Okay. Do I take another 2 fire damage from that?
You take 4 points of fire damage this time. Hitting it a second time, it just adds to the already heat of it. There's no time for your weapon to cool down. It gets even hotter.
Don't
Oh,
love
no.
that, gang. Don't love that. It's gonna be 8 on that one.
8, got it.
And that will be it for Jasper.
Ja. All right, then it is the rest of the cultists. One of them comes up behind you, Jasper, and is going to because it has flanking on you, and you're gonna get it pulls out not a dagger but a scimitar, and
Okay.
ooh, not quite the crit, but that's a natural 19.
That'll hit for sure.
Nope, not D6. 6 points of slashing damage. You feel cut in deep into your back. The other 2 cultists will hop off the platform, and they will move their 30 feet around it. So they're probably, this thing is 10 feet across, and it moved 10 feet there. So it's gonna jump down, next 10, 20. So they're about 10 feet away from you on the north and south side. One pulls out a dagger and is going to try to yeet one over at you, Rory. No, and throws that straight into the cultist next to this abomination, straight into his back. As a heart. You would think that he just had to aim it upwards, but doesn't put enough mustard on it, and it arcs down and strikes his for 4 points of piercing. Okay. So where'd that go? There it is. The other one. Yeah, the other one takes a look around. Yeah, it's also going to try to huck over at you, Roy, because there's such a tall creature right now. Does 14 do it?
It does not.
Yeah, this, you see the first one, you see these 2 arcing daggers come. You can see one strikes into the cultist to your side. The other one, you just move slightly to your left, and the dagger actually skids off the side of this elemental abomination's brass armor and clatters a little bit of ways behind you. They're both going to pull out, now that they're both unarmed, it is now back to the top. So it's the giant abomination's turn. And
he, blinded by a rage, must attack the first cultist that showed up.
Yep, he's going to make that with 2 hands. Okay, that is... Oh, it's the retrieve. Oh, yeah, that's a 17 to hit. So he brings down this giant warhammer straight on top of this cultist dome. And does 7... And then 4 for 7 bludgeoning damage and 4 fire damage. And as he brings down, it just crushes this cultist. There's a full standing cultist. He takes 1 dagger in the back, and as he reaches for it, the hammer comes straight down onto this cultist. And the only thing left are the 2 immediately cauterized legs that just kind of stand there. the arms, torso, head of this cultist no longer exist. It's just the two legs left standing. It's such a fast, powerful strike. You can all feel the stone heat and break underneath, and you can see the two legs left there begin to burn from now being on this superheated flooring. You could feel the shockwave hit you right in the feet from the power of this creature.
Is it just me, or is that hauntingly similar to what Gord did to Con E in the arena fight in my game?
You're
Yes.
right.
Yeah. Way less of way less slaps in this one. This is just power strike. So that's its action, I believe. Then it gets to roll the wisdom to see if it breaks through at the end of its turn.
At the end of its turn, yet.
Yep. All right.
It can still move. It can still move if it wants to, like normal. It just
doesn't.
can't use its action anymore. Okay.
Yeah, it's exactly where it wants to be. Nope.
Take those opportunity attacks. All right.
Yeah, no, it's got plenty of people right next to it to fight. It's exactly where it wants to be. So wisdom. That's a 17.
Boobies.
Ooh,
All right.
I'm sorry, 18.
That doesn't matter. You shut the fuck up. You know that doesn't matter.
I do. So this time, after just absolutely decimating one of those cultists, the flames increase, they grow until you can see your golden thorns strain against it, and then there's the sound of as this thing loosens up and turns, and
Well, I wasted one of its turns, and that
That's-
is gold.
that's gold thorns. Moving on down, it is now her turn.
My turn.
Yeah.
No,
No.
Everybody's.
No.
No?
No, it
Oh,
is.
I thought you said mine.
Oh, I said her turn. Sorry.
Oh,
So she. How far away are you guys? 10, 30, 40. Oh, you're all within range. Freddy, would you please make me a wisdom saving throw?
that's not great. I have a -1. That's an 8.
An 8. Yeah, she looks to you, and in this voice just screams out, "Halt!" And there's this burning in your mind. So for a singular round, so for this round, you do not move and you take no actions.
Okay.
You are hit with command.
Yeah.
Dang.
That she's going to stay put, and then once again puts both of those hands into the Brennan and continues to feed that energy to this abomination. So that's her turn. Now, Freddy, we know your turn, so it's Jove.
Yes.
Command is now
Jove
over.
is go-
It's the round. Once it hits your turn, it's done. You now have your reaction, though.
Okay.
Beautiful. So if Jove used his movement, would he be able to get to a spot where he could hit the main cultists without disadvantage?
Yeah. If you move
Perfect.
straight across
Okay.
25 feet, yeah, you could get within range.
Yeah. So he's gonna do that. He's gonna move straight across. He is because he's still concentrating on Hunter's Mark from our previous encounter. He's gonna Hunter's Mark her, and then is gonna chuck a javelin at her face. Yo.
Do it.
Yo, I'm gonna chuck a javelin at her.
Ooh, that is a 17.
The 17 will hit.
And I'm going to go ahead and use Akila's reaction to add the d6 of lightning to my own.
Jaw.
Yes.
So that is going to be 6 lightning and is going to be 11 piercing.
Oof. 17. Yeah, no, you and Akila both fire off your projectiles, and as they combine and strike her, she lets out this raspy kind of growl, and you can see that the this kind of blood flame energy that she's been sending over to the abomination breaks as she pulls back and recoils from the pain, and the light significantly diminishes from this abomination. It no longer has that blood red flame to it. Now it's just it's a much more natural looking flame to it. Her concentration is broken.
Beautiful. And then on Akila's turn, she's going to return to Jove, and since the only action she can take is dodge, so she'll kind of be in front. I would like to place her between Jove and the head cultist, and have Akila take the dodge action, and that'll be Jove and Akila's turn.
Gotcha. All right, then it is Riri.
You're right. I will go ahead and take a strike on Big Boy Abomination here. Ooh, and that is a 24.
A 24 will hit.
Nice.
But you also take 10 points of fire damage.
Oh my goodness.
As you break through when this one launches in, you feel part of the armor break apart and exposing the inner fire of this, and it washes over you as you make this strike. Doesn't cut out everything. Just
every health point matters, y'all, because I have 1 HP right now. So
Oh
thank
my
you.
god. Wow.
Thank you, Freddy. Oh my god. I'll roll my damage here. God damn. Every health point matters. Never let anyone tell you otherwise. God damn. Okay, that's gonna be 10 bludgeoning altogether. And then I'm gonna use patient defense for my bonus action, so I'll use a key point for that.
Gotcha.
And that's it for me. Thank you.
Jasper, your move.
Okay. Realistically, things are looking a little spicy here, regardless of what happens. So, we're just gonna make the swing. We're just gonna attack him again, even though we'll see. We'll see what happens. I have advantage still because of Rory, right?
Yup. You're still flanking it.
Okay.
And you still have Bardic Inspiration.
I do
Get
still have
that
Bardic
sneak
Inspiration.
attack. Do it.
I think I'm gonna add it to the damage this time.
You can't do it to damage. You can only do it to attack
Why
rolls.
not? Oh, to attack. What's your special thing? I thought I could add
Attack?
it to damage.
No, you can never add it to damage.
That's Valor Bards.
That's right.
Yeah.
But there are fun effects if you use his Bardic Inspo.
That's
Yeah.
what it was. That
And
was
then
the-
based on what you use it on, it does different things.
And it's a 21 to hit.
That hits. You take 3 points of fire damage.
Hey, we've got 2 party members have 1 health.
Oh!
We're gonna roll that damage with sneak attack. It's 10 slashing.
How do you want to do this?
Oh!
Yes!
Wow. Are you
No
fucking
way.
kidding me?
No way.
That is 1 over
my
its
God.
hit points.
That
By
is
1.
ridiculous.
You got it. By 1.
One health point matters.
Oh my god, a battle of inches. Okay, God, you know this thing's anatomy better than I do. How does Jasper, like, tear this thing asunder with an axe?
This one, as you come from the back and Rory strikes it, it breaks open part of the armor, and you, from the back, go across from, like, the shoulder. You almost hook in the axe and then tear, and you can hear, everyone can hear this awful screeching noise as the axe rips through the brass, and then there's a roaring sound as the flames escape its body, just and then as it falls off, you see the charred remains of what used to be Dawson tumble through, him being much smaller than the armor set itself, in two pieces. Like one part having this perfect diagonal cut, so it's like a left arm, the legs, and like the lower torso, and then the head, the chest, and the right arm on both sides. It's and where the body drops, you can see it's melting into the floor as the heat from this thing is still going. However, it does not explode upon death.
Oh.
Oh, I was holding my breath there. Yeah, and like, yeah, the very end of that, without turning around to the lead cultist, like Jasper just like looks over her shoulder, and just the firelight glowing in the amber eyes of Mask tells her that she's fucking next. And that's my turn.
So you take an immediate scimitar afterwards. You turn around, and with a 17...
Misses! Just
Oh,
Wow.
you go to look at that, and your instincts tell you to turn your eyes as a scimitar comes inches within. You can see it cut across your mask. Any deeper, and would have cut you deeply. You could feel the movement of air as that cultist strikes against you, but misses. That leaves 2 left. Yeah. The other one closes the gap and goes after you, Rory. That's
Does have disadvantage.
Oh. All right. That's drops it down to a 13.
Does not hit.
You are able to use the kind of body of this to stop it from stepping directly into you, and you put the bow staff down and catch the scimitar into it as it pulls out from your bow staff. Then there's
defense.
yeah. Then there's the other. So, dead, Rory, Jasper. This. Who hit it? Oh, it hasn't taken any damage here. Okay, we'll just roll. All of you guys are equally good targets right now. All right. It's Aquila, actually. That's a nat 20.
Oh, thank God.
All right, Aquila takes 11 points of slashing damage.
Wow.
Ouch.
And yeah, when that scimitar comes down onto her, it kind of like splits her in half. And as that happens, like I imagine that the cut as it starts to get wider, there's kind of like a lattice work of electricity that's arcing between the newly opened flesh, and that just kind of gives way to her whole form becoming an electricity and darting back. Well, I guess she's right in front of Jove, and so just
Yeah,
right
so as
behind
it
goes back.
yeah, just strikes down overhand, just like with full movement, actually strikes into Aquila and carries him forward right in front of you, Jove. So you're eye to eye with this individual, and it's the same kind of robes, and there's just you're expecting grimaces or anger, but it's total elation. You can see the burns across this individual, like every part of it, and it's just that wild ecstasy of slashing through Aquila. And when the lightning hits you, it's like someone just thumping you right in the chest as it goes through your body, and you feel that just whole tense as it sits back behind your shoulders. It's an unpleasant experience every time Aquila is forced back into your body. Not enough to damage you, but also, it's like getting dental work. Like, it's not enough to hurt you, but it's also not pleasant either. And also that reconnecting, it's just, it's a great sensation would be like when they plug people back into the matrix through the back of the skull, except for you, it's behind the shoulder blades. Doesn't hurt. It's where that's supposed to be, but also something's just been injected into you that wasn't there previously. Those are its turn. That thing is dead. Then it's hers, and there's just this awful wailing, cackling, and you can hear just the in between it, just this repeated MX, MX, MX as she walks through the Brennan. Cuts that through there. She's going to lock eyes with you, Jasper. Make me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh,
You
dokie.
have Bardic Inspo.
Thank you. Won't need it with a 22 dex saving throw.
But what it will do is give you temp HP if you use it right now.
Oh, then in which case, yes, I will use it. Is it just the D6 or?
Yeah, so if you use it on a saving throw, creature using Bardic Inspiration gains temporary hit points equal to the number rolled on the Bardic Inspiration die. So Bardic Inspiration die +3. So whatever you roll on the die, +3.
Okay.
Oh.
Beautiful. That's 7 temp HP.
Nice.
Great. As you see those same kind of blood red flames erupt at your feet. This time your legs working just fine as you almost high knee jump over it. And you feel, you look back and make that eye contact. And then instead of anger or disbelief, she begins to cackle. As with an 18 to hit behind you, from the corpse of this thing, that same blood-red energy coalesces into a large warhammer, and the world goes dark. Because it's 2d8. Spiritual damage, so I believe force for spiritual weapon, so you don't have resistance. Yeah, it's 14 points.
Yeah, she's unconscious.
Rory, you can see, like, right in front of you, just this large warhammer come up. It's almost as if someone's picked up the same one, but made of that same wreath of blood-red fire, and it just drops onto Siren. Just not even like a swing, just the whole weight of it, just boom, as it goes straight back up.
Well, thank goodness it landed on Siren. I thought it landed on Jasper.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
It's okay.
On Jasper. She used a bonus action for spiritual weapon. Now, it is Freddy.
Okay. I have a turn this turn.
Yes, you do.
And Jasper just went down.
Yes. Absolutely bodied by a warhammer.
And I still have a second level spell slot.
What are you going to do with it?
I'm gonna save it for later.
These green... I'm
I
gonna
just
save
like
it for
the
later.
action.
I'm just letting everybody know what my status is. Like, I'm just making sure that we're all caught up on the...
Just a
on the
verse top
battlefield.
here, looking for fun.
With the mintiest greens that I can provide. That's 8 health to you, Jasper.
Oh, thank you.
The world goes red, then black, then white, and then suddenly you're back into it. Pain, burning, heat, fire, but consciousness, breath. Minty green the whole way through. The worst version of how it feels to chew 5 gum.
I could just hear the distant Kyle.
It's just, it's like being in being in the center of a bunch of hair dryers all blowing at once, so it doesn't actually feel like there's anything there. It's just, but minty green.
And then with my action, I'm going to do a vicious mockery on one of the nearby cultists.
Absolutely. There's the one in front of Siren. So, I mean, there's the one by Jove. There's the one by Siren, and then, or god damn it,
Who's serious?
Jasper. By Jasper, and then the one by Rory. So, which one would you like it to be?
The one by Rory.
One by Rory. Wisdom save. That's a 7.
Aha! You take 1 psychic and have disadvantage on your next attack.
1 psychic. Got it.
That's it.
And that's it.
Which one took that vicious mockery?
The
one
one
on
by
The one next to Rory.
Ja.
Okay.
The other person at 1 health. Well, you've got more health now, actually. Okie dokie. Then it's Yov.
Yes. So, I believe that the guy who cleaved Aquila didn't close the distance.
He did indeed close the distance.
Oh, he didn't.
Yeah.
Well,
He
either
slashed
way,
and then walked. I mean, he was only like 10 feet away. So he had enough movement to slash through Aquila, and then suddenly there's that open space, so he just moved forward to you.
Jove is gonna go ahead and take the attack of opportunity, and he is going to move his 25 feet kind of eastwardly, and doesn't want to get too close to the brazier, but is just trying to get a little bit closer to the main cultists. So if you want to do the attack of opportunity.
Yes, unnatural 20. And that is 4 points of slashing damage.
Beautiful. Okay, so from there, Jove will use his. I'd like to imagine that at this point, Aquila is speaking to him in his mind and saying more, 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 and Jove feels compelled to oblige her. So he is going to use his bonus action to use his second summoning of Aquila, and he can do so at a 30-foot range. So he is going to try and plop Aquila as close as possible to the main cultist.
Yeah. You do
Beautiful.
so.
Just is she like is she already in the like melee range of this person?
If you've got 30 feet, if you moved your 25 feet from there, and then it's Jasper on the ground. So it's Jasper on the ground, and then cultist, and then behind that cultist is the main cultist. From there, yeah, you could put Aquila right up on her.
Cool. Then I'll put Aquila right up in her face, and she still has Hunter's Mark on the main cultist. So we'll go ahead and throw a javelin at the main baddie.
Getcha, do.
Ooh, so close to greatness. But that is a 22.
That'll hit.
Go ahead and do the little bit with reaction from Aquila to add the 6 to lightning. There we go. Okay, so we've got 9 piercing and 6 lightning.
6 lightning.
Gotcha. Yeah, another just hole just created in this woman, straight through the burn parts of her body. That sticks out at this awful side angle, and she has to physically rip it out of her body, just bleeding profusely.
Beautiful. And I like to think for this one that like since Aquila's so close, that she like spits her like mucusy lightning even before the javelin makes its mark, but somehow is able to put it in the right spot. She's able to track that arc as it's going through the air, and does that there. And so Jove is yeah, we'll go ahead and relinquish his turn there. He's just trying to kite around that other cultist. So I get to use my turn.
Nice.
Gotcha. All right. Then it is Rory.
Yeah, right. I'm going to attack the scimitar cultist that just struck at me. Oh no. It's a crit fail.
You go for the swing, and it's wide, it's desperate, and you end up hucking your bow staff, whoosh, ding, 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 right over the top of this dude. It just goes free of your hand. You can feel the burntness of them just causes them to loosen up, and just you can hear it smack and hit that pillar with a smack.
Crap. Welp. He's already got disadvantage on him, so I will just try and make another strike unarmed here.
bring out a foot for a kick. Like you throw it on there, and then you just keep spinning around and try to bring your large heel to this cultist's face.
Another bad roll, though. That's just a 9.
Yeah. This one, once again, you're not used to being so. You're large. It's only medium. You just go right over the head of this creature again.
That makes sense. No movement for me, so that'll be it.
Jasper, it's your turn.
She's gonna use half her movement to stand up.
Yeah.
And she's gonna make a battle axe attack against the boy right next to her.
Ja?
That's a crit fail.
Oh no!
You hold on to it, and you go for the reckless, knowing just how dire this situation is, and you just swing all the way around, and you lodge your axe into the corpse of this abomination. And you immediately feel it heating up, and you let go to avoid the fire damage. You're currently disarmed.
She is going to utilize a mobile since she made an attack against this guy to is the guy who just hit Jove within 20 feet?
Within 20 feet of there? Yeah.
She's gonna get within melee range and pull out a hand axe.
You do. The cultist is enable you immediately do, and instead of fretting on losing your battle axe, you immediately disengage using your spin to turn all the way around and move with your increased speed, even after getting up, and pull a hand axe and get into melee range with this guy.
That's her turn.
All right. Rory, this time I have disadvantage on the attack against Rory because of Vicious Mockery. Yeah,
Yes,
last time
if
was
it's that
patient
cultist.
defense. Yes,
If
it
it's
is
that cultist tagging, yes.
Yeah, so disadvantage. Yep, that's double sevens, so that's not going to do. She's trying to swipe at you, but also avoid stepping into the corpse of this creature, which is now almost creating this like pool of superheated floor around it. So he misses. Then there is the one in front of her. Yeah, no. The one in front of you, Jasper, will take a swing since you're right there.
Okay.
Nope. That's only an 8. With the freedom that you have with using a smaller weapon, it's easy to see this telegraphed attack, and you step out of the way. The other one, however, is going to use its movement and flank Aquila and drive a deep wedge. So that's with advantage this time. That's a natural 18. Let's see if we can get the crit. See to get the crit on the dragon. Or Drake, whatever you want to call it. There's another d20. That's 16. So, I believe a 21 will hit Aquila.
Indeed.
Indeed. With the d6. Alright, that's a match for 8 points of slashing. Then,
She hisses.
back to the top. It is going to be the lead cultist. And she really does not like this little Drake. So she reaches her hand down, and you can see it glows, and it's like her entire skin becomes living charcoal, a flamed, scorching, smoldering, and reaches down to touch Aquila. And so she's going to inflict wounds with advantage. That's another natural 18.
That'll hit. 18 will hit.
Aquila is going to take 8, 6, 4, 18 points of, well, we're going to, which would technically be necrotic, but because of flavor issues, we're going to go for fire damage of, as she absolutely reaches down and just starts to melt through Aquila's face. Just grabbing deeper and deeper until you can see her fingers touching through the top part of Aquila's skull.
And just as quick as she came out, she rushes back into Jove's body.
And with that same hand, flicks it out to the side. And is going to hit you, Rory, with the spiritual weapon as her bonus action.
All right.
That's an 18.
It do hit.
Yeah. That's 2d8 of force damage, I think. I believe you only have 1 hit point.
Yeah, I'm down for sure.
Brings it this way sideways, and Rory, you're completely unprepared for this one, as and there's the loud sound as you see Rory's body goes parallel with the ground, and like Andre the Giant hitting the ground, currently unconscious. Well, it's going to be her turn. Now it is Freddy.
That's me.
That's you.
Oh. And Rory just went down. And I have a first level spell slot. So Rory gets 5 health back.
Rory, it was just like Jasper. It goes from red to black to white to conscious. But you are now once again conscious.
Ooh. Am I still large?
You are still large.
Okay, just checking.
Yes, since it's a potion and it doesn't have a concentration to it, it lasts for 4 hours, whether you're conscious or unconscious.
And then with my action, I'm gonna Vicious Mockery, let's see, which cultist? The cultist next to Rory again.
That one's a 19.
That succeeds.
This time your words don't affect him. Sticks and stones, baby, burn them all.
You know the saying, sticks and stones, burn them all. But words, I rolled a 19.
How I remember it.
That's, I mean, didn't you all grow up with that? Was that not your playground jam?
Sticks and stones, burn them all. But words, I rolled a 19.
It was huge at Bel Air Elementary School.
Right.
Alright, good use of turn, Freddy. It is now. I assume you're going to stay put? Feeling pretty confident where you're at? Alright, Jove.
Yes. Okay, feeling extra salty, because this main person was so mean to my Aquila. Gonna go ahead and use a bonus action to do Zephyr Strike. And he is going to check another javelin at our main cultist. And we'll do so with advantage off of a Zephyr Strike. Not the nat 20, but still a 19.
A 19 will hit.
Okay, and so that will be these dices. So that's going to be a 6 force and 7 piercing.
How do you want to do this?
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Ugh. Like, I imagine that, like, as, like, the energy from Aquila, rebounding in and out of his body is literally a shock to his system. And as soon as she re-enters him once again, there's a flare of anger in him, and he sets himself, and he really, like, I want to say that he gets a solid little run going, and, like, for those that are nearby to see, like, it's almost like he is running on air just a little bit, like not flying, but just like he's got a little bit of levitation as he gets just like a nice angle, and
Like the cheetahs, like when they run and they don't actually, like, they're mostly flying.
Mm-hmm. And just with the whole body contortion. I mean, you can just tell this is a practiced move that Jove has done a billion times.
and he sends that thing for like he's trying to get like center of mass, like right in the sternum of this woman. And I'd like to think that he utters a little bit of draconic and doesn't even really know what he says, but I'd like to think that it says for Keela. And as he drives that javelin with that little extra bit of force damage, fells her.
Yeah, it strikes straight and true, just. And she just goes from upright to flat. You can see the javelin almost twitching in her body. You can see that while she is definitely no longer here, the muscles continue to twitch and contract. It's almost like watching like a Charlie horse so severe it kills a person. In fact, there's the ever so slight sound of bones breaking as the muscles contract so violently.
And then Jove will survey the scene, see that Jasper is engaged with somebody behind himself, and using his extra movement off of Zephyr Strike is going to position himself, spear in hand, in a flanking position on this other cultist.
Excellent. Rory, your move.
All right, I'll use half my movement to stand up, and we're going to strike the same cultist that came at me the last time here.
Yeah, and as you look over, you're expecting to see that warhammer again. There's a bit as you move to the side, but you can see that it falls and makes a heavy thum, thum, thum. No longer animated by the magic of that woman.
Good. That's going to be a 23 on the first one.
Yeah, that'll hit.
And then a 15 for the unarmed strike.
Both will hit.
Nice. Roll my d4s. That's going to be... That rolled really high. That's going to be 17 bludgeoning damage altogether.
How do you want to do this?
As Rory gets up, still in his giant form, he's gonna just like almost just let out kind of a roar, and like both hands is going to just grab this cultist by the head, and it's like Mountain versus Oberon, just going to actually just push his face and his head in and just cave it with his raw strength he has right now.
You just put your hands together, and you feel just warm, crunchy liquid in between. And then you toss it to the side, and the body falls onto the melting corpse pool of this abomination, and immediately alights and adds now this layer of thick, greasy smoke to this, now significantly, like at least 2 inches deep of just liquid molten pool with this warhammer just sticking out of it to the side. This just pit of flaming decay and death.
And I believe there's just one left that's by Jasper, right?
There's 2. There's one next to the body of the woman that Jove just killed, and then one that Jasper has engaged.
Gotcha. I will stick on the one that's on Jasper since I'm right there. So if I need to move myself over, I will do so to flank him. And I think Rornak would just say, pretty much just, "You owe Ilmater." And that will be my turn.
It's the 2 of them left. They make eye contact with each other. The one by the woman's body reaches down and grabs the amulet and shoves it into his mouth. And you see that same, like, swallowing an ember just gorge his body. And he runs. And as he does, he picks up the knife from that woman and slashes his own throat as he runs to his fellow cultist. His fellow cultist drives his own scimitar into his body. And as they perform this act of brutal assisted suicide. He turns to you. Imix watches the world burn. I need Rory, Jasper, and Jove to all make dexterity saving throws.
Yes, sir.
It's not
Ooh,
bad.
that is 21.
That's
Success?
a 24.
Success.
11.
Failure. So everybody takes half damage here, since you still have the fire-resistant potion. Alright, everybody takes 5 points of damage.
I'm
As
just down again.
I gave you
dang
5.
it. Yep.
as these two cultists almost embrace each other as they both, as one of their bodies just explodes in this thing of flame, completely consuming the other cultist, and the fire washing over all. You're all able to, besides Jasper, who you just brace for it at this point and put your arms up in front of you, Rory and Joe both jump back, avoiding the worst of it, but Rory, it's that flash fire as you and it just unconscious, just and once again going backwards this time instead of forwards. The world goes dark once more. So back to the top.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. It's Freddy first, since we've got somebody
Yeah.
who's dying.
So, with those two dead, who's still here?
Nobody.
I mean,
They-
my friends are here.
Yeah. Besides
Hold
your
on.
friends, it's actually you wake up and you're back in the Tower of Arcane Might.
Oh, you're finally awake.
Actually, you wake up on Flan. You know, your dad comes into the room. See, you were having a terrible nightmare. Looking around, all of the cultists at this point. One is burning. Its corpse is burning there. The other has already what were legs have now just turned into ash. The only body that's like left here that hasn't just been burned or exploded is the woman's body, which still convulses from the residual lightning from Job's javelin.
And she still has the pendant on her?
The pendant was pulled off of her body by one of the cultists who
Okay.
swallowed it, and then between his
Gotcha.
own attack to himself and help from his fellow cultist, ritual suicided to cause an explosion.
That's what did that. Okay. Well then, I'm just gonna go do a medicine on my down boy.
All right, roll that medicine check.
Yeah. 4.
Uh,
And he's magically healed.
if only. You like go and you're just like, I'm tapped. Burns. Ooh, those are nasty. Burn on the outside, burn on the inside. So that is not a success.
I can't do actual medicine, guys.
Shit, I thought it would work just like magic. How do people without
thought you
magic
could just-
do it?
Touch him.
Give him that minty green. Maybe if I breathe on him real hard, just. Johnny, what you got? Just looks at you. Just looks the hair back.
Doesn't help.
Then it is Jove.
Yeah. Jove is going to go. I mean, with this many people around, Rornak knows that medicine is probably on the way. That's not his cup of tea per se. So he is first. I think actually is going to go and poke around the corpse of Dawson to see if there is what he's really looking for is like any identifying marker that he might be able to pull off or show the Zora to kind of testify to what happened here.
You go to where Dawson's corpse should be, and it's just an entire liquid lake. There's just it's you can't even get like your hands into it. This thing is so hot and just radiates. You try poking it with a spear, but you're worried if you leave your spear in there too long, it'll start to melt. or light in your own hands. That's just how much heat is coming off the corpse of this thing.
Is there any, while I'm here and just like looking at it, any interesting inscriptions that I can tell in this kind of melting pile of brass and bronze?
Roll an investigation check.
Yes, sir. That's going to be a 16.
A 16, you can see, since the inside is exposed, that it is that same sign of the colts in more of those runes, which you, while you can't read, you definitely recognize as more primordial.
Gotcha.
Like,
Cool,
the
so
whole
he'll kind of-
insides of it is just layer on layer on layer on layer of these runes over and over again in this kind of just maddening display. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it. It's like they were trying to fill every single inch of the armor on the inside with these runes.
Hates that, but he'll definitely make note of it. And that'll be Jove's section.
Jasper. Oh, actually, before Jasper, Rory, make me a death saving throw.
Of course.
Hi.
I will try. That is a save. That's an unnat 20.
Nat 20, that's one success. Then it is, of course, Jasper.
Jasper will exhaustedly kneel down next to Rory and pull from her adventurer pack a medicine kit and use one of its uses to stabilize Rory.
Rory, you're now stabilized.
Woohoo! Familiar situation, but glad to be alive. That's 3 times in like this one,
Truly.
this one dungeon or what you want to call it. Yeah,
Come on,
rough.
Julio.
Party's
Yeah.
biggest weakness, fire damage.
You know, I
Like-
don't have a good way to deal with that yet. So
If I
That's too
didn't
much,
have that
man.
resistance, that fight would have been fucking.
oh
Ugh,
yeah,
Don't want to think about it.
But with Rory
Alright, well-
stabilized, we're out of initiative.
Cool.
Rornak in spirit is like, look for the things, but I can't actually tell you that.
Yeah, I was about to say, you mentioned a dagger.
Mm-hmm.
Can Jove poke around on some corpses and look for such dagger?
Yeah, you find, not in the corpses, but shoved into one of the walls, the dagger that the woman was using, and you pulled it out, and it's, the entire hilt of it is made out of brass, and the blade itself is, way thick, inches across, just in what doesn't look to be very effective, but very much a thematic dagger in the shape of a flame. It's still incredibly hot to the touch. Not so much that it burns you, but does feel very warm.
Cool. Jove will kind of like walk over to where Jasper and I don't know if Freddy is still hanging out
I
by
would have,
them.
once she started administering medicine, I would have gone back to the cells and started poking around there.
Okie dokie. Well, if that's the case, Jove, as you're recovering one of these daggers, which cell would you like to go to first?
Is this like a Monty Hall thing? I mean, coming in, I would just go to the top right one.
The top right one. Inside, you see, this one has same bunk of wooden hay, weapon rack, armor stand, and a metal chest in there. There's more fire elementals. Every single room has one.
Thought I was muted, sorry.
Well, I still have 20 health. I can deal with the fire elemental. So yeah, I'm gonna see if the armor and weapon racks have anything on them.
Looking through, you see some Some plain clothes there. You see, it looks like another scimitar is set up in there. Um, Pretty basic stuff. As you're looking through, the chest you do discover is locked.
Hmm. Okay. I will take the scimitar, and then I'm gonna go back out to our battlefield, and I'm gonna start looking through bodies for keys. That's my plan.
Gotcha. Looking through, you and Joe both have the similar experience of, oh, these bodies are mangled. The only one that's even really approachable at this point is the woman's body.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess I'll search her for a key.
Searching her, she does not have a key on her.
Okay.
However, you do find on her person is 95 gold pieces.
Oh, okay. Can you make note of that, and then we'll split it up with the end of mission gold?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Thank you.
I think Jove would want to like peek back behind this like main altar area where our main cultist was kind of coordinating everything from.
You find behind it that nothing really of note. It seems you see like on the walls there's more of that kind of primordial runic writing. Not that it seems to make heads or tails to you, but all just seems very decorative down here. However, you have noticed that the room has cooled. Like while the corpse and the places of fire are still very hot, um, that kind of oven sensation seems to be fading. You begin to feel kind of the sweats pull on you. It's not just immediately whipped away. It's almost bearable.
Is the Brennan still burning?
The Brennan has stopped burning.
Okay. I had an idea. I'm gonna go back into the cell that I went into, and I'm going to performance of creation. I'm just gonna start plucking at my strings, just very plucky music, and conjure up my best rendition of a lockpick.
Interesting. Yes, you do.
A lockpick that's worth less than 60 gold pieces, which shouldn't be hard to make.
No, it's not. While it's not your forte, you know what they look like, and so to the best of your abilities with that, you kind of condense and coalesce your magical energies. Which color? That's important. What color is
Ooh.
your creation magic?
Um, yeah, 'cause all my spells are different based on what they do, and Johnny's gray. This is rat. Um, let's see. Yeah, because we didn't pick what color the chair was when I made that, so this is really the first time we're thinking about color. Freddy is a very red boy. I think it's going to be red.
You pluck this, and you almost can create these notes in the air, and bling ding 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 ding, ding, and then you just speed through it, and each note is like putting it together. It's like you're taking every single mote and atom of this and condensing it. It goes from this kind of almost bubbly, like small little bubbles, like a Coke commercial, and then just gets smaller and more packed and more dense until you finish with just like a crescendo, and then boop, you stick out your hand and it drops, and there's a lockpick, red in color, but perfectly formed.
Alright, well, I don't know anything about lockpicking, so I guess I'm gonna poke my head back in the other room. Hey, does anybody know how to lockpick?
No. Oh wait, I am proficient in these tools. Yes, I am. I'm a liar.
I even forgot that you were a rogue. I was about to say, yeah, none of my party members know. I totally forgot you were a rogue.
I
That's a
mean,
good thing I checked.
I mean, DM, this is kind of up to you. Like, does she? Can't you do that? Like, I know it's in my mechanic, but like,
Let me look real quick.
how do you feel about it? Because I technically just kind of gained that through divine kind of influence.
Divine influence. Let's see.
She is a child of Mulemaster.
When you multi-class, you get proficiency in light armor, one skill from your class's list, and thieves tools. So yes,
Okay.
you do have those skills. You've never tried it out before, but you've certainly dreamed about it.
I think it's
Okay.
less about
I've had
your experience with lockpicks and more of just like your character like paying attention to the finesse of what you're doing, and it just makes lockpicking make more sense to your character.
Yeah.
It's one of those
Okay,
things where now it's a point of pride where it's like, Mask definitely knows how to use lockpicks.
So
Ooh.
I'm gonna try. So Jasper has propped Rory up against the column that we were nearby.
Oh,
Kind
thank
of
you.
just make him look a little decent and comfortable, and
There's a lot of
goes,
straining as you're moving his large body. Just
oh Jesus,
it takes a minute, but you're able to just kind of drag him over and you put him down. Fuck, he is heavy. He's like
Sure.
what one would say double his weight.
I think that's the one thing I've been doing since I got him recovered. I probably just finished that when Freddy stuck his head in the door. So
Yeah, you see Jove like poking around, like almost kind of hurting himself, just like got the dagger, looking at it, just kind of angry for Jove. Like feel good, but just kind of angry after watching Aquila get mangled that way. Rory's just out, alive but out. As you pulled it through there, then Freddy just pops in. Anybody know some thieves' tools?
I'll give it a shot.
Okay, so here's how the rest of my powers are going to help you. I'm going to conjure a Johnny for you, giving you a bardic inspiration. Hey, Johnny's pretty slick too. He knows how to finagle a little gear or two. So you have a bardic inspiration, and if you use my bardic inspiration on an ability check, the bardic inspiration die can be rolled again, and you choose which roll to use. So it basically gives you advantage whenever you use it.
Nice. That's a
And you get to do that after your roll. So it's not like you have to burn it immediately, but if your first roll is like garbage and you want to just do a second roll, you just get that. But if your first one's good, you don't have to burn it, and you can wait until the next chest.
okay. Yeah, that's a dexterity check with proficiency, I imagine.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, we'll throw the bardic inspiration on top of it just to give it a little bit of flair. We'll take the advantage just to give it even more flair.
Johnny shrinks down and climbs into the lock, like following the key, and just kind of like slithers into the lock and is like shrunken down for him.
That's
Tries
gonna
to.
be
Go ahead.
Regular 20.
That's a threshold.
Would you fucking believe that's the DC right there? That
Yes,
is
Kyle.
the
We did
DC.
it.
Oh my god.
We did it.
You reach
Teamwork.
in with this red lockpick, and Johnny shrinks down, and you and Johnny are kind of struggling to make ends meet, and there's a coolness that goes over you. The heat dissipates just for a moment, and you look down and you can see Johnny, and just for a second, he goes completely black. Just loses all form and shapes, becomes more shadow than anything, and you feel him pull with a strength that he shouldn't have and guide you in. And then, as soon as that shadow's there, as you pull back, it pulls away from Johnny and you, and the lock opens.
She, to herself, whispers a small thank you to Mask, and opens the chest.
Inside of the chest, you find there are several sets of clothing, a journal bound in oiled leather, a potion of healing, and one more item. It's a dark burned staff that has a brass clip in the center of it that allows it to fold in half. And you pull this out, and it feels strangely, almost kind of supple. It bends, even though it looks like it's completely burnt. And you can see strange runic markings all the way in like the hinges of brass, not on the actual. And you pull it out, and it clicks open, and it's warm and pleasant against the hands. It's smooth. This blackened and brass staff in your possession.
She'll hand the staff back to Freddy, and take a look at the journal.
Make me an investigation check with this journal as you flip through it.
While she's flipping through it, I'm going to start casting Identify on the staff.
You begin working on Identify. Give me that roll.
The investigation is a 14.
A 14. You flip through and you can see it is a journal. A couple different individuals. You can see the handwriting has changed in certain places. There's a lot in here, but with a 14, you find two things of note. You find multiple references to something called a devastation orb that you're not entirely sure how it's created or what it is, but the writer of this, Aravia, writes about transporting it through Elmwood on its way to Mulemaster before there's a blank in the page before it jumps to a couple other entries. Another thing you notice in there is a mention...
I'm sorry, but just before we move on, you said it was moving from where to Mulemaster?
From Elmwood to Mulemaster.
Okay.
Before the journal entry for that individual stops, and a new hand is written in it. During this, you also see a mention of a pet hawk within the city of Mulemaster, pointing to a collusion of moving individuals to the city. And not just one entry, but two entries of it. There's no name attached to it, but especially you, Jasper, the mention of a pet hawk is... The room feels incredibly cold suddenly as you feel that just sits in your guts. There are still many more pages to look through, but just kind of glancing and reading it, and the time it takes Freddy to cast Identify, you feel that kind of... You're sweating because it's still warm in here, but your insides feel ice cold.
Okay. And you gave me a name that started with an A. What was that?
Starts with an R, Aravia. A woman just kind of reading through seems... Roll me an insight.
Okay. Uh, 16.
A 16. Clearly a leader in this. And you think of all the individuals you've seen. You have a... it is your gut feeling that Ravia is the woman that you guys had transported, who was the one leading this. Looking through even at kind of the dates of it, it all kind of clicks of a devastation orb being moved through Elmwood on its way to Mole Master. This woman, Ravia, was in charge of it. It appears that it's detonated prematurely. The timelines work out. The handwriting, the way it's referenced, you feel with that 16, you feel very certain that that woman is one of the main authors of this journal.
Okay.
Freddy, your identify spell goes off, and what you have in your hands is a Staff of Charming. It requires attunement by a bard, cleric, druid, sorcerer, warlock, or wizard. While holding the staff, you can use an action to expend one of its 10 charges to cast Charm Person,
Command, or Comprehend Languages?
From it using the spell save DC. It is also a magic quarterstaff, so it counts for the purposes of overcoming resistance. That's while you're attuned to it. However, whoever holds it, if they fail a saving throw against an enchantment spell that targets only the holder of the staff, you can turn that failed save into a successful one. However, you can't use the property of that until the next dawn. If you succeed on a save against an enchantment spell that targets only you, with or without the staff's intervention, you can use your reaction to spend one of the charges and send it back to the caster. So when you're attuned to it, you can cast magic through it. While you're holding it, it's a magical quarterstaff that allows you to, once a day, turn a fail into a success. And if you succeed, you can use a charge of it, even if you're not attuned, to send it back. You can basically baseball bat that out. However, the staff regains 1d8 plus 2 charges daily at dawn. If you expend the last charge, we roll a d20, and on a 1, it becomes a non-magical quarterstaff once again. The magic in it burns out.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to keep it at 1 or more charges.
But that is what you have in your possession.
Oh, that's so good. Wow. I think I found my new focus.
Yeah, these were good gets. Do I still have the lockpick?
It lasts as long as Freddy. How long
2
does that
hours.
last? 2 hours.
Yep, 2 hours.
So, Freddy, are there more of these chests laying around?
Yeah, but sadly, we're out of Johnny's.
Oh.
I'll
I mean,
try
I
it
have
by-
my regular Johnny, but he can't really do anything except sit on the chest and slick his hair back and give you finger guns. If that'll be encouragement for you.
She sighs and walks past him. We'll try it Johnny-less. Assuming there's other locks to be unlocked.
There are 5 other chests. 2 of them are locked. The other 3 just contain clothing and other such things.
Word. Okay.
So yeah, go ahead and give me a check. Give me a dexterity check with proficiency for one of these other locked ones.
That wasn't great. That's only 14.
14. These other chests are not nearly as nice as the one, so 14 does. So
Ooh.
one opens up and you find.
Oh, we went for the hard one first?
Yeah, you went for the hard one first. The one at the
Oh.
the top right that happens to
I'm
be
glad
the
that's the one that we used, like, what, four class
Yeah.
abilities on?
Lucked
Yeah.
out on
Your-
that one.
Little did
We
you
used your
know.
proficiency, we used my bardic creation, we used my bardic inspiration. Wow. Just
Well
opened
done.
them up.
You
Yeah, we did it.
You carried Bard. Well done.
Looking
Yeah,
into this one, you see that it has a number of small gems in them.
Oh. Delightful.
Yeah.
We like those. We take
Yes,
those.
yeah, a number of them. They're all rather warm to the touch, varying from shades of red to one being kind of like almost like a beautiful thing of obsidian. They're all each incredibly warm to the touch, not enough to burn you, but unnaturally so. You find in this chest, you find 6 of them, each worth 50 gold pieces.
Beautiful.
Do you mind if they seem unnaturally warm, do you mind if I identify them just in case there's something we don't want to mess around with?
Yeah, she, without looking, like, plops it in his hands and moves on to the next chest.
Go ahead, roll me that dexterity with proficiency. Well, Freddy, you're casting Identify.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that one's not gonna do it. That's only a 9.
9, yeah, this one. This time, there's no cool shadow to guide you, and you feel the plink as the lockpick breaks.
Out of luck.
After watching the struggle, it takes a little bit. The Identify comes back. These are not magical in nature.
Okay. Cool.
However, you get the confirmed of like, these are ETH worth 50 gold pieces. Not bad.
There you go.
DM, can Jove do a little bit more a poking around in the main Brendan that was in the center of the room?
Sure
He
thing.
kind of found something in the previous place. He wants to kind of poke around and see if there's anything at the base of that.
Yeah, you go ahead and roll me an investigation check.
Okay, I will write down the gems in my inventory.
Okay.
Ooh,
Do
that
we
is
know
a
the
natural 20.
Do we know the number, Dom?
It's 6 of them. He
6,
can
okay.
include it in the loot at the end, though. That's okay.
I gotcha. Yes, there's 6 of them
Okay.
worth 50 gold pieces. So, Jove, with a natural 20, you dig through the largest Brennan. You can see that there are more of those runes all on the outside and the inside. But instead of finding charcoal and wood or another usual substance, it's all blackened bones. Bones after bones after bones. There's no amulet in here, and you aren't sure the exact nature of these bones until you dig in deep and you find that the very bottom of it is comprised of a number of skulls. Most of them seeming rather small.
Ooh. That is... Does... so definitely children's skulls.
You have just this awful feeling in your stomach, and just vaguely in your mind you think, coins for orphans? And think of their avoidance of this place.
With that nat 20, does Jove feel like he sees like a repeated symbol in here? Really what he's looking for is to see if he can, like, they were talking Imix, they were repeating Imix. If he thinks that he can, like, I don't know, jot down a couple of the most used symbols to see if there's a connection there.
Yeah, you find the symbol of the Colts is everywhere. That same, what very much looks like a Brennan. That one, and now that you've got a better look at it, it's not finding the same symbol over and over. You do see an image, and it's the only reason you can see is because you've dug so deep into this Brennan. And I've got it for you. I can just show. I don't have to tell. You see that looking down, and it's less runes itself, but this image becomes clear as you look into it. Like a swirling mass of eyes underneath burned into the center of this Brennan.
Jove is gonna call out for Freddy and be like, hey, Fred, can I borrow you for a second?
Yeah, sure. What's up, bud?
Hey, I remember in one of our first adventures, you did a little bit of some sort of, I don't know, graphite scrape or whatever on that little collar on the insect fella that we killed.
Yeah.
Do you have the capacity to do with this symbol right here? And he'll point at the circular thing and says, I don't know about you, but this looks a little bit different than some of the other stuff we're seeing here. And I don't know. The longer I look at it, the worse I feel. And I think there might be something to the symbol here.
Yeah, the longer you stare at it, Jove, the more uncomfortable you get. It's like seeing, it's like taking a dose of acid and suddenly everything starts breathing. It looks really stable, but the longer you look at it, the more it swirls and convulses. Not like a fire, but not unlike a fire either. It is equal parts natural and unnatural, and it just makes you feel so many emotions all at once. Dread and almost an ecstaticness to it of discovering this. And then you feel yourself kind of pull back, but then a sturdiness, that same almost kind of madness of despair that you felt deep in the mountains. And it's just, the longer you stare at this, the more prevalent these feelings become. And you almost have to kind of break your sight and move away from it for a little bit.
Making me feel mighty unsettled. But I feel like what unsettles us the most brings us closer to figuring out what the fuck's going on right now. So I appreciate if you could, make a marking of it and maybe study it at the Cloak's Tower or what have you.
So I'm gonna be holding my new quarterstaff and really focusing on this. And in my focusing on trying to look at it, I'm going to use a charge and cast Comprehend Languages. So I understand any written language that I see, as long as I'm touching the surface on which the words are written. So if it's a written language.
You don't get a language, you get a cacophony of emotions, and it nearly makes you drop the staff looking at it. It really feels like it comes to life, and it hungers for your eyesight. It hungers for you to look deeper into it. It's not words that can be uttered or said. It is like looking into just madness itself. That feeling, you watch Freddy's whole body go incredibly pale as soon as he looks into it with the staff. Like, I mean, the color just drains from him immediately.
It's not to be fucked with. So I'm thinking, I don't know if I want to write this thing down,
Well, yeah, no, I get that. Yeah, I'm feeling the same thing. And
I don't want to conjure anything that we don't want to come to us.
No, I don't know about you, but when I was looking at it, it was almost like it was drawing me in, So, yeah, maybe replicating it's not a great idea, but I'm glad I got a cloak's eyes on it. I feel like, if you were to do some studying up on it, they would give your words a little more weight than my own. But here,
maybe
let's
we
shift our
can
focus.
wrap it up and take it with us, but we make sure that nobody's looking at it.
I'm pretty sure it's like in the.
Oh, is it? Okay, I thought it was like a little. Is it in the?
Yeah, it's built into the Brennan itself. Now that Jove has moved so much of the stuff out of there and used the spear to get the bones out of there. Now that they've moved so much of it, you can see that it was in there just churning.
Well, then I guess we commit it to memory, and if we know somebody to talk to about it, I'll talk to Dejuan about it and just kind of tell him what it looks like. But like I said, I don't think it's a great idea to be drawing it and showing it around to people.
Yeah, I feel like even though I'm not looking at it anymore, when I blink, it's kind of there floating a little bit.
Yeah, that doesn't sound healthy.
No, a little unsettled. But maybe we can divert our attention. I know you're good at picking up, what things do. But after I downed the main cultist, one of the others grabbed this knife and ran hightail with it. So I figure it's probably pretty important.
Mm-hmm.
Mind taking a look see at it, and I'll pass over the hot knife.
Yeah.
After identifying it, I assume.
Yeah. So this is not concentration. So also, if there's a written language on it, I can read it.
You can see that it has primordial symbols for Imix. You now can recognize just the primordial symbol of Imix. Like, there it is, and it's
Right.
I don't have an image of it, but you recognize it.
Okay.
And it, once again, around the handle has who watches the world burn, Imix of the Elder Eye, servant of the Elder Eye,
Gotcha.
wrapped around it, and it is a +1 dagger.
Hey, so this is it's a pretty fancy dagger. They're not messing around here. It's pretty sharp, and I think in the right hands it'll be actually a better dagger than the average one. If I don't know, maybe you Jasper might be interested in a dagger. I don't know.
That seems like it's pretty good for throwing if Jove doesn't need it.
Yeah, I'm not too much with daggers. The only thing I know really how to do with them is, skinning animals and whatnot. So, yeah, I haven't seen Rornak use a dagger either. I think he's really here to
Yeah.
give his 2 cents or what have you. But yeah, no, hot daggers, not really my cup of tea. So Jasper, feel free to take this.
Rornak says it's yours and unconscious.
In unconscious.
In unconscious.
I have comprehend languages up so I can understand unconscious. So we're good.
He's giving off that vibe, you know?
He feels like
Passes
he doesn't
the
care
vibe
about
check.
Yeah.
There you go. So a +1 dagger. I go. So this is a +1 dagger, and if you look right there, that's actually the primordial symbol for Phoenix. Actually, I don't know if I know the language. I think I just understand it. Yeah, I just understand the written language. This symbol means Enix.
Thanks for that.
Yeah,
Handy
no problem. Yeah, you can call me little schoolboy now. Except I'm teaching the classes. Take that, folks.
No.
Yeah, I'll call you that from now on. Actually, like that.
The whole thing, little schoolboy. Except now I'm teaching the classes. Take that, cloaks.
God, this rap name is fire.
And you said that was a standard +1 dagger there, Dom?
Yes, it is a standard +1 dagger.
With some flame aesthetic to it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's incredibly well made, but it's not like your battle axe.
Right. Speaking of, she's gonna. Is it still like raging hot?
Oh yeah, it's just been sitting in that this whole time.
Jesus.
It's not like red hot, just because of the make of it is that obsidian and everything. But you put your hand towards it and you can feel the heat. Even with some of the damage, as soon as you're like, ooh, bare hand is not the way to go for this one.
That extra clothes that we found, are they like especially nice or interesting or unique, or are they just kind of
lots of just like robes, the aprons,
yeah,
heavy leathers and stuff like that. Stuff that only people who want to be really fucking warm all the time would wear.
Yeah, she'll grab something nice and thick and somewhat fire resistant, and she'll pull out the axe and just let it lie on the ground there for a sec, and then pick it up when it's done cooling off.
Yeah, you get it out of there, and you see now the armor of this creature. Everything. I mean, it's just becoming more and more of a puddle. The whatever bodies have fallen in here have just melted and burned away. You can kind of see a little bit of what used to be a cultist's bone sticking out, um, and pull it out of there and put it to the side. And it's deceptive because it doesn't look like it's fucking hot,
Right.
but you can even see on the apron itself that part of it's leaving like a burn mark on it.
Yeah, we'll let that sit for a little minute. But do we have anything else? Is anyone doing anything else, or are we good to go?
With this new staff, it seems like I can understand some languages. With my handy dandy magic, I was able to tell that it can help me understand things. So if there was any other writing that you saw around here that you didn't understand, it seems like this staff can show me what it means.
The like glass door that we had to open using the amulet, did that completely shatter, or is that still kind of
The glass parts of it, yes, did shatter and break after defeating what I can now reveal as Mephits.
Was there any writing on anywhere else? Or
There
did
was
it all...
there was some runes above kind of the archway of it. You
That's
you have
the only
time
thing.
looking over at it. It's more of Imix, servant of the Elder Eye, who burns the world. I mean, it's the same as like walking into like a crazy person's room and just seeing the same scrawl symbol over and over and over and over. And looking through, you can see now, since you comprehend it, just every nook and cranny, and notched into some of the beds and in on chests and the walls and some parts of the floor, some nicer, some looking like someone just took a scimitar and just over time just carved it in there. Imix, 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 over and over and over again. By the time you see it all, you're pretty over it.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's it. I didn't see any other writing. Was there any like foreign language in the journal I found?
It seems to be written in common.
Okay.
However, in like the cover of it is the symbol of Imix, and in like the spine of it and through the margins, there's just more of that symbol, and the symbol of the cult. I mean, it's just everywhere. You just can't, especially for you, Freddie. You can't get your eyes off of it everywhere you look, and with the way comprehend language works, at least the way I see it, it's like ping. It's like constantly getting pinged with this. It's like Imix, servant of the Elder Eye. Okay, what else? Imix, servant of the Elder Eye. Who burns the world? Imix, servant of the Elder Eye. A really weak one that's like, yeah, who watches the world burn? Who watches burn the world? You're like, wait, you can see one room specifically, things are put out of order, so it's the world
The elder
watches.
servant Inix.
Yeah, just our lips say. The
Imix,
world watches
bitch
Imix
of
burn.
The Elder Eye.
The Elder Eye. The Elder Eye world watches Imix burn. What?
Well then I think that we are ready to take our friend out and dip.
It's kind of fucking big.
Yeah. I mean we can wait for the potion to wear out.
How long does that take?
I'm not an apothecary. I don't know potions.
What? Jesus. I mean gods.
Who's this Jesus?
I've heard about this Jesus guy.
Yeah, he's my friend. He helps me move things.
He's this
I'll
really
probably
cool
tie some of
wood
these
carpenter.
knots, and
The mask
we'll rope
confuses.
up our big boy. We'll drag him through, and it'll be okay.
You're gonna drag me out? Oh, damn.
drag.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
But
Go,
guys,
guys!
that's
No.
embarrassing. Make sure
Yeah,
my
Jed will
mask
break
is
out the
on.
rope. He'll break out the silk rope because he has
Oh, wow.
Silk rope
too.
for friends.
Wow. You're getting
Wow.
joined, but in style.
It doesn't
And,
cut
you
into
know,
the skin
go-
so roughly. I mean, have you ever been tied up with just garbage hempen rope? It sucks.
I haven't, but I'll take your word for it.
It's
Only once a
unpleasant.
week.
It's really unpleasant. It just
It
really
is.
bites into you.
Only once a week.
I was seeing this person for a little bit. They're just really into hempen rope. Don't ask me why.
Oh,
It was the cheapest.
Specifically hempen. Jeez.
vegans.
Some.
Oh no.
But yes, you can use the silken rope to help get Rory out of this fucking place. I assume that's where we're all ready to head out.
Yeah, we're good to go.
Yeah, you have my permission. That's good.
Consent
Great.
is important. Consent is important. So, you make your way out of the chapter house of Eternal Flame, and as you're walking up the steps, you can hear the of a light rain. And as you exit out, there's a steady, warm rain that has now descended upon the city. And you can feel it whipping away the heat. And as you exit out back into the Zent ghetto, you see somebody duck into a corner. And as they duck away out of the corner, out of sight, you see a group of soldiery members. A dozen, maybe even more. They stand at attention and form a line, stopping you from entering further into the Zent ghettos, blocking you off with only the chapter house behind you. An individual steps forward. He wears an incredibly elegant set of armor with the golden M emblazoned on the front of it and on the shoulders. However, you can see a set of talons hold the M on each side. His face is clean cut, perfectly shaved, from neck all the way to the top, completely chrome domed. However, the top of his head down to the nose is heavily scarred and disfigured. Almost purple in kind of what little light is out here. As they make this defensive circle around you, pressing in closer, there's a certain amount of tension that fills the air as he steps forward and says, "Fred Lapp, the Hawks would like a word with you." And that's where we're going to end it for this week.
I told you they were gonna be after me.
Hey.
Fuck. I feel like we found the pet hawk.
Run!
Well, that saved us the trouble of looking for him.
So, let us say thank you to chat.
Thanks, chat.
Good night, chat.
Night
Night,
chat.
Goodbye, chat.
Thank you so much, chat. I appreciate you watching this episode. I was very excited for it, and very excited for what comes next. So, peace in the Middle East. Much love. We will see you next Sunday.